The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champions, we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the BNP. People say the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it does now come rest. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champions.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
Roll call, jump away, roll call, jump away. There's a meeting up in heaven, roll call. Is your name written there in the Lamb's Book of Life? Roll call, brother, sister, roll call. Good morning.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right stand that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Tuesday to those in television land. Happy Tuesday to our silent supporters. Happy Tuesday to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone is having a wonderful and productive week so far. Remember, guys, when you come in, thumbs up the live. We don't ask so much, just thumbs up the live. Share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. Tonight's topic is the GLP involved in transnational and major organized crime? Your host, Byron. Pastor Ricky, Jamaics, and we will be joined shortly by Mr. Rattigan, and sometime Ishmael might be joining us to do the tablet drive again. So guys, let me just go ahead and welcome those in the chat. Denham, Stennett, Sonia Foster, Doris McCoy, Beverly, Joan Morris, Patel Cruikshank, Carla Evans, Yvonne Johnson, Yvonne Riley, Jeannette Lett, Louis Longshore, Merlin Maloyson, Laris Beckford, Rennie Swaby, Freedom, Sonia Ellis, Leighton Brown, Cheerful Wild Horse, Don Mel, Dwight White, Chelsea Clinton, Florence Brown, Elaine Turner, Andrew Fisher, Patsy Gavin, Rafe One, Ronice Nicholson, Hurricane Hattie, Shirley Fields, Maxine Fraser Bell, Orville Wright, Corinne Atkinson, Love, Cynthia Beef, Ruth DePan, Ransford Smith, Bloomy Coleman, Damian Goss, welcome. Without any delay, I'm just going to hand over to Baron so we can start.
All right. Really love that, as usual, honey. Wonderful precursor there. All right. Wonderful panel as usual. Distinguished gentlemen. We have in studio tonight, of course, no other than Brother Rattigan, right? Former FBI supervisor. No other than, of course, Pastor Ricky, right? And Jamaica's Ishmael will be joining us later. And Sister Maria, she's under the weather. So, I'm just saying that, please be well, Sister Maria, right? We're looking forward for as it relates to you recuperating in good health. All right. Now, before I ask panel to just do their usual meet and greet, I would just want to create a background in terms of what we are going to do tonight. Tonight we'll be delve into, right, a deep dive investigation, right, done by international investigators, right. The part that Mystic Sensation played into that investigation is to verify certain findings, right? So as it relates to when I get to that report, right, I am going to put my disclaimer there, right? As it relates to in terms of our input, where that is concerned in terms of corroborating some of the evidence that has been established. Now, having said that, let me just have the panel do their usual meet and greet. Let us start with the youngest amongst us, right? Jamaics, go ahead.
Hey, good evening to everybody. I'm good to be among family member. Once again, Pastor Ricky, blessings to you. Uncle Rattigan, blessings to you. And the dynamic duo. Trust me, man, the people who have keep us informed, keep us sharp, and make we all feel like we're investigators as well. And to every family member in the comment section, greetings and blessings to you. We can't wait for tonight. Tonight promised to be a bombshell, and we're just here waiting on it. So people, like and subscribe, and let us continue the conversation.
All right, before I go, hold on, Pastor Ricky, I want to say big up to Sulfur in the chat. And people, remember, go over by Sulfur, all right, and Sulfur, because Sulfur is doing some excellent work, right? And I, love what Sulfur is doing. So Sulfur, big up yourself. Yeah, go ahead, Pastor Ricky.
Good night again, Sir Byron, Lady Anne-Marie, big respects. Sir Rattigan, Professor, and Jamaica's General, blessings, and everyone in the chat, and those who will be listening in the future, whether it's tonight, tomorrow, or in the week to come. I want to say greetings, and I'm so blessed and happy to be here in the presence of scholars and luminaries and eruditans and visionaries who weekly, daily research, present facts and truth. And I'm so honored to be here tonight. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for that, Pastor Ricky. All right. Let me say this in terms of giving the background to tonight's investigation. Tonight's investigation, we are going to be focusing on 1, Jeannette Calder; 2, Nigel Clark; 3, Don Webby; 4, Daryl Vance, one of the moment; and 5, no other than the Prime Minister himself, Andrew Holness. We are going to go through a chronological sequence of events, and for each window that we'll be discussing, we are going to give the panel, right, a chance, right, to voice their observation, right, into a summary format, right. So what it is going to be tonight, as it relates to when we finish read about the situation with Jeannette Calder, then we open to the panel. When we finish with Nigel Clark, we open to the panel. When we finish with Dan Webby, we open to the panel, and you get an understanding of what is going on in terms of how we are going to break that down. Now, let me say this, right? We have heard, Mike, can we fix that? Yeah. We have heard the situation with $3 trillion unaccounted for, right? Remember, I'm just doing the introduction. We don't get into the report yet. This has nothing to do with the report, right? I am going to go through 3 documents prior in getting to the report, but I just want to explain certain things, right?
One sec.
Ratty, I am here going on and we don't have your meet and greet yet, Ratty. We don't have your meet and greet yet. But actually, we really want to get into this, because tonight, bombshell. All right, go ahead, Ratty. Sorry.
No, let me just say good night. Let me just say good night to everybody. Pastor Ricky, big up yourself, Jamaics, Mystic Sensation, Dynamic Duo, and Mary and Byron, and all of you people out there in social media world, watching, listening, commenting. I am here tonight to learn, as I do every night on every program I go. That's my main objective, to learn and then to disseminate. So Byron assured me that there will be bangarang tonight. So
Bangarang.
you don't bring my pot cover down here.
All right. Yes.
So I'm all ears, sir. I'm all ears.
All right. So as Ratty said, bangarang tonight. But the essence of the situation is, as it relates to Andrew Holness administration, and we are going to prove tonight that it is a full-blown kleptocracy, right? Based on the data that we are looking on, right? Quite, boggling to say the least. But we are going to go through that report. Before we get into the report, let us give a recent developing news, right, that just came into me. So I'm just going to highlight that. More than $80 Jamaican million in cocaine found. Let me just highlight that, right? Andrew Holness administration, right? So just to give, a brief synopsis of what is going on. More than 80 million in cocaine seized at St. Andrew apartment complex. Massive blow to drug traffickers, state police, January 14, 2025. Well, remember, people, election is near, right? And so then we are wondering now if Jamaica Labour Party is finding their own drugs. Man has been charged following the seizure of more than 500,000, right? In comparison, 80 million Jamaican dollars. Now, yes, we will be following up as it relates to the man has been charged, because under the Jamaica Labour Party administration, they will keep it quiet. They will then release him in the wilderness, right, to go. There's no surprise there when we talk about the Pastor Rowe, who is running for councillor, right? And he's a free felon, right? Having robbery charge and found guilty. Now he's running for councillor, right, for the Jamaica Labour Party. So there's no surprise here when we see in these situations, right? And as I say, people, coming near to the election, you're going to see a lot of deflection. But we're going to stay tuned tonight in terms of focusing on the corruption at hand as it relates to our Prime Minister, our government, right? Corrupted government. We are not going to lose focus. We have seen Big Mama, right, Cliff Hughes, trying to sow the seed of destruction, right, to suck the energy from out of the conversation and the focus as it relates to the Prime Minister and his 28 accounts and $470 million and statutory declaration that cannot be certified. Let me say this, Cliff Hughes, we are not going to be distracted, regardless of anything that the Jamaica Labour Party, right, is going to do. We are not going to get distracted. Before I go any further, I want to say big up to the General Wayne Lonesome. In a way, they big up yourself. All right. Police report that on January 8, 2025, about 10:50 a.m., its narcotics team acting on information intercepted a grey Toyota IS motor vehicle at the gate of the complex, which led the cops to an apartment where the cocaine was found. Not giving any more energy to that. We are just going to touch it and let it go. All right, let us focus on what we come out to focus on. Now, having said that, I heard, all right, Brother Ishmael, let me just give you the opportunity to meet and greet the people as you come on board, because Brother Ishmael at intervals will, of course, doing the tablet drive. And remember, the tablet drive is in support of the Portland children. We're talking about education. We do believe in education. ISAT BUCHANAN, who is the candidate, right? Now, that is his mission in terms of educate. ISAT BUCHANAN, as it relates to his mission, doesn't believe in giving a man fish. He believes in teaching them how to catch fish. And he wants to make them, of course, fishers of men by educating them, right? So that they can, pursue a career, right? Okay. Ishmael, take the space. Go ahead. Brother Ishmael.
No, it's
Good evening, you hear me?
Yes, hearing you now.
This is me about 15 seconds, let me start out my audio.
Okay, all right, cool. Let's just pass on that until Brother Ishmael sort out his audio. Now, a month ago, right, going roughly about a month ago, right, we have seen Jeannette Calder came out and she reported as it relates to the Auditor General finding, right, of $3 trillion, right, unaccounted for. Obviously, right, the Jamaica Labour Party administration, right, did not like the term being used, right, when she spoke that, $3 trillion being missing or unaccounted for, whatever the narrative is, right? So then the Jamaica Labour Party claimed that, right, the reason for that was to the fact that there are some ministries who have not yet submitted their appropriation account. People just look at that. Now, we are talking about 9 years to 10 years where there is no appropriation account as it relates to some of the ministries that we know have not been submitted. And remember, I said that there is no other investigation that the Auditor General is going to do, right, and come with any different findings. It's still going to be the same. The fact of the matter, $3 trillion being missing, and many of that being pilfered as it relates to nepotism, cronyism, and skullduggery. Tonight, I am going to play, and remember, I know we are not getting into the report yet, the serious report yet. But before I get there, tonight, I am going to show Jamaican people, I'm going to present 2 reports that show you that money being missing as a result of nepotism, cronyism, right? And I have the evidence in terms of showing you how billions of dollars, right, had gone to a particular family, right? And of course, nepotism and cronyism. Now, the first document I'm going to present is going to shock you people as it relates to Andrew Holness has to approve the payout. Nigel Clark has to sign off on the payout. The permanent secretary, right, has to again approve the payout. So you see a network of criminality. Now, people, look on the first evidence that I'm going to present. Now, without any delay, how OPM paves Smith exit for Clark. So this is the introduction for Nigel Clark to venture in, right, the politics as Minister of Finance. And so then, of course, we have Smith and his exit. Now, here it is, people. how the office of the Prime Minister paved Smith's exits for Clark. This is Thursday, August 19, 2021, 12:08. Now let us read. Jamaica Labour Party, GLP elder statesman and former cabinet minister Derek Smith landed softly on a $7.5 million consultancy carpet in the office of the Prime Minister, right? Just as he retired from representational politics to usher in successor Dr. Nigel Clark. Look at these people. What the Prime Minister is doing with a $7.5 million in consultancy as it relates to carpet in the office of the Prime Minister. Take that document away. Now, let us talk a bit here. You tell me that a carpet, right, into the Prime Minister office causes taxpayers $7.5 million. Unbelievable. So right then and here, let me say, you know that, of course, the procurement thing as it relates to nepotism, cronyism. Now, the permanent secretary has to sign off on that, right? Of course. Now, Nigel Clark has to sign off on that. And of course, Nigel Clark has to run that by the Prime Minister. So let us presume, right? When you think of $7.5 million carpet in the Prime Minister's office, is that carpet lined with gold? Unbelievable. Unbelievable as it relates to consultancy, right, to Derek Smith, right, as it relates to having a carpet laid in the Prime Minister's office. Now, let me say this. This is where we talk about nepotism and cronyism at its best, right? I mean, where in God earth, how big is the Prime Minister's office, right, to really contain a $7.5 million in consultancy? Okay. Freedom said, are you sure it's not the carpet in Portland? It has to be. Now, so quickly, let's just run through the panel to hear the panel views. And I want 2 minutes now, no longer than 2 minutes, because we have some serious issues, you understand, to take on. Ishmael, I want you to take it on first, and in the meantime, squeeze in the your little meet and greet.
Yes. It's funny. Good evening, Mystic. Good evening, viewers. Pastor Ricky, Jamaics, Big Brother Will. Hi, how you doing? Right. So I notice it's that season now. It's a silly season, so you know, people are trying to steer us away from what is actually, you know, important, and that is rescuing Jamaica. And part of that is, you know, who for carpet, wait who for carpet, no mash up who for carpet, have money under it, what we call a rug, you know, who and stuff like that. So, but nevertheless, I think it's important, Mystic, that you shed some light on these things, because I think people I like to call them convenient hypocrites.
Exactly.
Because it's important. It's funny how you can on one day, on one hand, say something about, you know, how integrity works, and then on the other day nothing comes out of your mouth. So I say that to say, we were having a conversation, myself and Uncle Will, about this very same thing, and it's funny how we look at it in terms of what is actually important. What do I mean by what is actually important? ISAT and the team decided to launch an education initiative using technology and tablets. And I found that not even, it's just today we found out, right, Ratty? Just today we found out that the government of
Yeah.
Jamaica has launched an island-wide tablet drive and is giving out 1,500 tablet per parish in schools. Jamaica's a laugh. Jamaica's a laugh. Yes, yes. So educating people through their household, and they decide that they're going to give a parish 1,500 tablets within the schools, and we welcome it because it's very much needed.
Exactly.
And they even sweeten the pot. But I realize that visionary leadership is absolutely needed anywhere you go. Why do I say that? But for um places like Reason with Ratigan, Mystic Sensation, Jamaics, myself, among other programs, carrying the torch about teaching a man how to fish versus giving him a fish, we wouldn't be here. No, where do you strike the balance? No, we live in an era where sometimes you cannot actually gauge when shocks, androgynous shocks, or pandemics or epidemics will strike. There is a looming one now, and we're very, very worried about it. I say all of that to say students may not be able to go to school if a pandemic strikes again. Why not consider giving them the tablet? That's all I'll say. Having said that, I must publicly uh, thank and share my undying appreciation towards the diaspora, because besides the diaspora, but for the diaspora, let me say that, but for the diaspora, let me tell you, man, we would not have had this impact. This is why proper advocacy is important, because we are here advocating for education, and they saw it and decided to run with it. So thank you, we appreciate it, but the work goes on, right there. That's right, my family and friends in the
Yes, of
diaspora.
course, the work goes on.
Yes, man,
Work
the
goes
work
on.
goes on. So
All right.
so it's from that avenue I'm asking for at least 20 tablets tonight. Make them show you, so we no need for beg no tablet for putting in no school so that the children can't go home and use it for education. We don't need to do that. If we're gonna ask a tablet, it's for their homes, not for the schools. So whosoever get, who them can get, and whosoever don't get it whenever it's needed, sort of thing. So I say all of that to say thank you so much, and let us continue the torch. And we see you, Minister of Education. We see you. Continue watching our programs, because we know that this is where you're getting the information from. We see you.
All right. Bless up for that, Ishmael. All right. Now let us move on the panel again. Having Pastor Ricky in the space. Pastor Ricky, step
Yeah,
forward.
thank you. This is great hypocrisy. This is huge. This is the first of the bombshell revelations. Now, what you just read is alarming, because it's a 7.5 million annually over a 5-year period, which you do the math, you get $37.5 million in hush money. This is the real hush money that this GLP FM host is trying to accuse us for. This is the real hush money. $37.5 million over 7.5 million over a 5-year period. Accumulative is 37.5 million paid to Mr. Smith to as a fake consultant fee. That's the quote they use, and carpet, which is to say that he landed softly in the office of the prime minister. So that it's not real carpet that's on the floor. It's the hush money payment to usher him out of office to bring in Mr. Clark, Nigel, criminal Clark that needs to come back in handcuffs. So they showed a great level of hypocrisy and the lack of transparency and accountability in the prime minister's office. And now you understand why $12.2 billion is stolen or missing from the prime minister's office. These are criminal investigation that needs to be launched as soon as possible. I turn it back over to you.
All right. Thank you for that. I'm not going to waste any time. Jamaica, you know, we always leave the general for last, you know. Yeah, that's all right, Jamaica. Go ahead.
Boy, I want to also extend thanks for the people who have been contributing to the tablet drive. It is amazing that our family member in the diaspora is looking towards education and strengthening that. As we see on different platforms, Uncle Rattigan, Mystic Sensation out here ensuring that Jamaican people are educated, and that is the only thing that can fight this corruption. So thanks to everybody who have been contributing to the tablets. We really do appreciate that. And thank Ishmael and ISAT and the team for coming up with such a plan and making it happen. Yeah, and good to see that ISAT, Ishmael, and team has inspired the Prime Minister. And they keep on coming to Mystic Sensation, Wilfred Rattigan's program, just to be educated as well. Two bodies are already corrupt. And again, the carpet now, how them carpet they look. The 7.5 carpet there. Oh my God. You see, they talk about, they boast about the pandemic, the management of the pandemic. We're facing an infodemic right now, when they're just piling on information to the public just to confuse people. Thank God we have these social spaces where we can now compartmentalize. We put that over there, so put that over there, so and we know, say, people, this is what we're dealing with. Getting rid of corruption. We don't know about them, the carpet there. Foolishness to tell the Jamaican people. So we continue the conversation, but we are look forward. We're vigilant.
Yeah. Bless up, you know, because you know, so all right. For tonight.
Sir Byron, you know, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention one last thing. That $37.5 million that is used to pay Mr. Smith, that's taxpayers' funding. That's taxpayers' money. So that 7.5 million over a 5-year period, that equivalents to $37.5 million. It's taxpayers' money.
All right.
Thank you.
Brother Ratty.
Let me just quickly say that it's hard, you know, if you're an objective person, it's hard not to listen to everything that's been said and just not in agreement. It's difficult. You have to be really, really hardcore partisan. But if you're really honest with yourself and you listen to everything that's been said so far, you have to agree. And regarding the tablets, you know, it was the government promised in their manifestos. They promised 100,000 tablets to be distributed across the island, and then we found that in 2016, the Auditor General found out that payments were made for 347 tablets, and guess what? I'll read it here. It says this included a payment of 11.9 million for 347 tablets for schools for which no location could be verified, as details of their assignment were not presented. So tablet just disappear. I don't know how that
in a nearby bushes.
347 tablets.
347.
And what is the figure for those 347 tablets?
It says $11.9 million paid.
Crazy. GLP administration. Kleptocracy.
11.1 million for 347.
Yeah.
All right.
Mercy.
All right. So thank you for that, Ratty. Now, if you think that what we spoke about earlier is bad, now I am coming with something worse, right? So we have bad, worse, and worst for the report to come, right? So let us get into the worst. Now, watch these people on the second document. Now, $2.1 billion in contract with Carlin Smith and Company, and this goes to the very same family, Ratty, you understand, as it relates to Derek Smith, right? Who again, right, are given this time $2.1 billion. Look what the $2.1 billion has been given to the Smiths. Now, without any delay on it, lift up the document and let the people see. Unbelievable. So we are telling the Auditor General that $3.3 trillion, you understand, unaccounted for, and most of that stolen as it relates to nepotism and cronyism. Yeah. Now, to look at it, people, this is no joke, right? All right. So
Can't get rid of that. I tried.
okay. Let us. What am I going to? All right. Sierra Jamaica, November 6, 2023. Sierra links $2.1 billion contract with Carlin Smith and Company for meals. For meals, people. Look at it, you know. Sierra inks. That is Derek Smith, son, right? $2.1 billion contract with Carlin Smith and Company for meals, right? Mr. Wentworth Charles Wright, board chairman, Sarah, hands over a 3-year contract agreement valued at $2,194,812,381.56 to Mr. Dwayne Smith. That is, right, Derek Smith's son, second right shift executive officer, Carlin Smith and Company, for the provision of meals at the Kingston Public and Victoria Jubilee Hospital during the official contract signing on Monday, November 6, 2023, inside the conference room at the corporate office. Take that away. Now, this is a government who claim that they care for Jamaican people. And this is what Andrew Holness administration is doing in terms of, right, crippling the Jamaican economy, as it relates to nepotism, cronyism, and skullduggery, right? And then most of that done in a political kickback to them, because I know for sure that the first contract, right, is not all of that money paid to Derek Smith. Political kickback under the table, gone back to them. I know for sure as it relates to this $2.1 billion just for food. For 3 years, people. For 3 years. Right? Taxpayers' money being given to Dwayne Smith. Right? Being given to Dwayne Smith. Taxpayers' money. And then who pay that in inflation? We pay that back in inflation. And this is a government speaking third term. This is a government speaking third term. And I'm not just going to go around the panel in that, because we have, you know, the fire coming up and we want to get to the fire. So let me just rest the panel. Let me just give the background again as it relates to the investigation to come. Now, we are talking about, we are going to zero in on Jeannette Holness, Nigel Clark, Dan Webby, Darrell Vaz, and Andrew Holness. Now, without any delay, let us bring up, right, this document. Now, we are going to show again, before we venture into, you know, the report, right? We are going to show certain foundation. Now, we remember that the Prime Minister did not sign the Code of Conduct. obviously to manifest, right, his ulterior motives. Premeditated act that he had exhibited, where we clearly see it now. All right. The poison that he, of course, giving to us today. So let us give him the 7 Nolan principle, of which not one aligned with Andrew Holness, right, behavior, his level of criminality. Now, without any delay, bring up 7 principles of public life. Let us tell Andrew Holness, right, that this is what good governance entails. The 7 principles of public life, also known as the Nodal principles, apply to anyone who works as a public officer holder. This includes all those who are elected or appointed to public office, right, whether you're in the parliament or you're in the Senate, nationally and locally, and all people appointed to work in the civil service, local government, the police, courts, and probation services, non-departmental public bodies, and in the health, education, social, and care services. All public office holders are both servants of the public and stewards of public resources. The principles also apply to all those in other sectors delivering public service. So obviously, as we see it, Andrew Holness has not delivered any form of service to us. His organization, his government gone rogue, is a kleptocratic government. Number 1, we talk about selflessness. Holders of public office should act solely in terms of public interest, not your interests. We know that Andrew Holness clearly stated that 2 terms belong to them, and the 3rd term is for the people. And so then Andrew Holness and his minion kleptocratic movement have already decided to take 200 and 300% raise. You understand? Within a fragile economy. We need to state that. A very fragile economy has no love, no care for the Jamaican people. Number 2, integrity. Holders of public office must avoid placing themselves under any obligation to people or organization that might try inappropriately to influence them in their work. They should not act or take decisions in order to gain financial or other material benefits for themselves. Tonight's investigation is going to show you what they have done in terms of gaining benefits, right? Acting immorally and illicitly. Their family or their friends, they must declare and resolve any interests and relationships. 3, holders of public office must act and take decisions impartially, fairly, and on merit, using the best evidence and without discrimination or bias. We have not seen this as it relates to the Andrew Holness-led administration. Accountability. We know that $3 trillion is unaccounted for. This is so much lacking as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party administration. As it says, holders of public office are accountable to the public for their decisions and actions and must submit themselves to the scrutiny necessary to ensure this. This is lacking as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party administration. 5, openness. Holders of public office should act and take decisions in an open and transparent manner. Information should not be withheld from the public, and so then it shouldn't be a need to apply Section 53, subsection 3, the muzzling clause, to muzzle the Integrity Commission. Obviously, Jamaican people, I want you to look at this to know that the government who is ruling today, right, is both a dictator government, a kleptocratic government, right, a government who has no care, want to suppress information as a result and the level of his criminality unless there are clear and lawful reasons for so doing. Honesty, makes sense. Me read this, because know none of that, no over there. Holders of public office should be truthful. Now, every single word, the only time Andrew Honest don't tell a lie is when he's not speaking. Leadership. 7, holders of public office should exhibit these principles in their own behavior and treat others with respect. They should actively promote and robustly support the principles and challenge poor behavior wherever it occurs. Now, Andrew Honest, as we speak, is also planning violence in the street, right? If it is not by the bullet, what he means by the gun, I don't know. That was his party message as it relates to Edward Seala, what Edward Seala said. If it is not by the bullet, it is by the gun. No, not my word. Take that away on.
Okay, 1 second.
Let us get back to the, and I'm glad someone correct me in terms of making it plain to tell people that it is not a physical carpet, right, that was laid, right, as it relates to the first document. So let us get back there, right? So what, I should just speak as it relates to the metaphorical reference, right? So we don't want it to, right, let us get back to it and have that straighten out right before we move any further. And I want to say thanks, for telling me to go back and have that clarify as it relates to better understanding so people can understand. Jamaica Labour Party elder statesman and former cabinet minister Derek Smith landed softly on a 7.5 million consultancy carpeting the office of the Prime Minister, OPM, just as he retired from representational politics to usher in successor Dr. Nigel Clark. Right? Smith pushed back initially against the ascendancy of Clark as parliamentary here in the Labour stronghold of St. Andrew, Northwestern, which he represented for 3 decades, preferring that his son, Dwayne, councillor for the Chancery Hall Division, take the mantle. So we understand why that was as it relates to that position, right? Being giving up for Nigel Clark to proceed in that position. All right. So now we clarify that. Let us move on. Now, let us remind Jamaica something, right? Let us remind Jamaica something as it relates to Andrew Honest then and Andrew Honest now. Look on Andrew Honest then, right? Bring up this because we are getting closer to the report. Let us look on the Andrew Honest then in 1994, right? The delinquent student loans borrowers who want to show evidence that Andrew Honest, right, coming from a poor background, has no money. Here it is, the red circle, Andrew M. Honest, lot 130, Riverside Park, Ensom City, Spanish Town, PO, St. Catherine, Social Science, UA Mono, and here it is, delinquent student loan borrowers. The following persons.
I'm sorry, I can't read. Whose name is that? In the red something I can't read.
Andrew M. Honest.
Oh, what the M stand for? M.
Michael.
Okay.
All right, my brother. Delinquent, let us show the people the heading. Delinquent student loan borrowers. The following persons are in arrears in the repayment of their student loans at September 6th, 1996. Now take it away, because we are smoothing in the report, right? So why I showed it? I showed that to say, as it relates to Andrew Hornets went on Clique Youth program to shape a narrative, to tell a lie, to say that when he ventured into the politics, he brought in $47 million. When we do the investigation, we realize that Andrew Hornets, of course, leave university 1994 and spent 2 years in charity, right? And enter the politics 1997, right? And so then that was a big lie. We are going to show you the exact terms of what Andrew Hornets spoke about. Without any delay, lift up that document. Let us cruise into this thing, because tonight we have some serious allegations. We are going to deal with it. Honest makes finance public, posted by Aptafix Henley, 17th of June 2016. Now let us look, people. We are not lying. Prime Minister Andrew Honest says he has assets valued at just over 151 million. His liabilities currently amount to just under $35 million. Honest disclosed his total assets and liabilities this afternoon in an interview with Nationwide News, the Gleaner and the Observer newspaper. Mr. Honest is the first Jamaican Prime Minister to publicly declare his assets and liabilities since PJ Patterson made his declaration public in 2002. People's National Party, PNP, has to normally set the examples for them. Always set the trend. See, ISAT Buchanan there, set the trend in the tablet drive. Now the Prime Minister now follow back on him. Here follow back. Mr. Honest made available to the media today his last 10 Integrity Commission declarations they did from 2007 when he first became minister, and now the Integrity Commission declaration showed that just before Honest became a minister 10 years ago, he had assets totaling just under $47 million. See the people? I am not telling any lie on the Prime Minister. It's not my word. His liabilities in 2007 were just under $4 million. Between 2007 and this year, Honest declared to the Integrity Commission 60 million Jamaican dollars in income. US dollars 189,000 in income was also declared to the Integrity Commission by Honest during the same time. The Prime Minister Integrity Commission filing showed that he acquired income before he became Education Minister via a private transport company which he owned. The company had operated in Portmore, Kingston, and St. Andrew. So in this report that we are going to do, the investigators picked up this, and people, you are going to see that the Prime Minister did not have such company, right? When he talk about the reason or the source of the money, he didn't have the company, as a matter of fact, yet. So when he declared that, you're going to see that he has the company sometime roughly about 2015 to 2016, right? You're going to see that. So when he come into the politics before 1997, he did not have that company. The Prime Minister outrightly lied to the Jamaican people, and yet you have to tell and explain where you got that $47 million from Prime Minister. We are going to see some things in the report that we will be addressing. Take that away. All right. As I said, we are going to get into the report, and let me make my disclaimer. Mr. Sensation make his disclaimer. Right? The source of this report generated by international investigators, professional investigators. Right? Now, the only part that I played in this report is finding source document to collaborate what investigators already found. So this report has nothing to do with me. The only part that I played as it relates to source document that I research and ensure that, okay, I am not just accepting this report just like that. I also do research and find reference document in terms of their investigation. So let us set the record clear and straight. And that is my disclaimer, right? Having said that, we are going to bring up the report. There are certain parts of the information that we are going to intend to protect people privacy, right? As it relates to certain information that is on the report. Without any delay, Jamaica, let us delve into this, because tonight, as I promised, it's going to be bangarung. I like to speak proper English, no bangarang. Let us speak properly. It is going to be bangarung. Speaking properly. All right. Blessed. Now, without any delay, bring up the report. Now, if you see the logo on the report, International Cybercrime Investigation Agency. International Cybercrime Investigation Agency, October 17th, 2023. We don't have to read through that. I am just telling you that I have nothing to do as it relates to investigating this report, right? Subject profile identification, findings, objective, bio and personal information, right? Everything is there as it relates to the report. Now, S1 subject profile identification photo, individual name, Oldness, Jeannette and Marie, surname, Landell. So Jeannette Oldness' original name is Jeannette and Marie Landell. Date of birth, July 16th, 1971. Occupation, member of the House of Representatives, Jamaica Labour Party since 2016. Right, verified information. Let us proceed. Now, we're going to get into S2 findings. Now, Stephen Landell. Now, this, what I am going to read out here, let me speak before I read this. Many bloggers, right, have it to say that Julian Oldness' brother is a drug kingpin. Let me repeat. Many vloggers have it to say that Juliet Oldness' brother is a drug kingpin. This investigation report found out that that is lie. It is not true. Let us correct the recording. This investigation report revealed that that information is false. So for people who are talking about Juliet Oldness' brother is a drugs done, cease from doing so, because information that is not true. The report is going to tell you who is Juliet Oldness' brother and his occupation. Now let me move on. Stephen Landell, Juliet Oldness' brother, a critical care nurse living in New York, and Mistress Oldness' only brother. Wanting to get that clear. Get it clear. Is suing because of comments allegedly made about him by persons who responded to the statements made by Peter Phillips. Comments made by some persons on social media allegedly describe convicted Jamaican drug dealer Andrew Wayne Landis. I want people to pay attention to the last letter of the name. So who people making the mistake with is Andrew Wayne Landis, not Stephen Landell. Stephen Landell without the S is Juliet's brother. Jamaican drug dealer Andrew Wayne Landell has no relationship to Juliette Holness, who is serving a sentence of 15 years in the USA as Mistress Holness' brother. All right. Mistress Holness said since the publication, she has assisted her parents to issue photographs of her brother as well as a press release to make it known that the convicted drug dealer was not related to them. All right. Now, positive activity with high school friend, Karen Dunkley. Yes. Hello. Yes, what? Okay. Okay. All right. Now, let us look at this, people. Nigel A. Clark has a high school media connection to the subject of 66.8% and was found connected to multiple offshore companies in Aruba and mostly Barbados, which are trading and investment. Now that is where we are going to go in terms of my investigation as it relates to source document. Let us read that over, because we are going to get into some deep waters here. Nigel A.L. Clark has a high social media connection to the subject, which is Juliette Holness, of 66.8%, and was found connected to multiple offshore companies in Aruba and mostly Barbados, which are trading and investment. Now, why this is important and why we are going to dig it? We are going to dig it because as it relates to the terminology insider trading, that is what we are going to look at. That while Nigel Clark, right, was finance minister, you are going to see some development. And even when Nigel Clark was in the Senate, you are going to see some development here that is interested to us. We are going, so what I did, I went to the worldbank.org. Lift up that. I'm taking the people through what is going on. So what I did, I went to the worldbank.org to confirm this. Let me just take my time here. Nigel Clark, here it is, Minister of Finance and the Public Service of Jamaica, featured on April 11, 2023, Economic Policies. The Honorable Nigel Clark, right? The letters, MP is Jamaica's Minister of Finance and the Public Service and is a member of Parliament for St. Andrew Northwestern. He has served as Ambassador for Economic Affairs, where he represented Jamaica's interests with multilateral institutions, and as a senator in the upper house of the Jamaican Parliament between 2013 and 2015. Minister Clark's public sector career includes service over various periods as chairman of the National Housing Trust, chairman of the Port of Authority of Jamaica, chairman of the Art Trust, and director of the Bank of Jamaica. Minister Clark served as vice chairman of the Musen Group, People, we are going to get into this situation with the Muslim group. I research the Muslim group, and I am not seeing where Nigel Clark resigned from the Muslim group. Let me say that. Let me say that categorically clear. I researched this. I have not seen where Nigel Clark resigned from the Muslim group. The reason why I'm getting there, right, where over 15 years he played an integral executive leadership role in the expansion of the group from a base in Jamaica to having subsidiaries in over 30 countries. In his private sector career, Dr. Clark is recognized for having led, managed, or executed dozens of acquisitions and corporate transactions, primarily in the Caribbean and Central America, but also in Europe and the Pacific, and for his expertise in structuring and negotiating large-scale inbound equity and debt investment from major global institutions. Dr. Clark has been chairman, vice chairman, or director of many companies listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. This is where it gets now very serious, Jamaica. Let me read that over. Dr. Clark has been chairman, vice chairman, or director of many companies listed on Jamaica Stock Exchange, right? Now, you are not, as it relates to you being the finance minister of a country. And this is it, where you have being the vice chairman or director of many companies listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and its private sector experience spans broad areas of the economy, including manufacturing, distribution, consumer goods. Consumer goods. Why this is vitally important is that Nigel Clark holding a position like that is privy to information. And when we talk about insider trading, simply means that Nigel Clark would have known the performance of goods, right, as it relates to the market, the stock market, and could easily pass on information where persons enrich themselves. This ought not to happen. Now, telecom, service, agriculture, food processing, banking, insurance, property development, among other areas. Take it away, we are going to get interested. Before I go any further, right, because I soon bring the panel in, I am going to play a clip so that people can understand what is insider trading and what we are talking about as it relates to Nigel Clark. Now, without any delay, honey, put up this clip so the people understand where Mystic Sensation is coming from as it relates to insider trading. YouTube, what is insider trading? Let us show the people what is insider trading and define it.
Imagine your friend works in the sales department of a famous IT company that is planning to acquire a successful startup. Your friend couldn't contain her enthusiasm and informed you about the acquisition news. Now you realize that this news will skyrocket the stock of the company being acquired. So what do? You go ahead and buy several shares of the company getting acquired. And voila, within a couple of days, the news becomes public and you make a ton of money. While this may seem a harmless case of a friend helping another friend, in reality, this is illegal and commonly referred to as insider trading. It is a malpractice that involves the illegal use of unpublished, price-sensitive information available only to insiders in order to make or help make a profit in financial trading. In fact, insider trading is one of the most serious malpractices that exist in the stock market. So let's first understand who is an insider. The stock market regulator, SEBI, defines an insider as a connected person who has access to price-sensitive information about a particular company. As an insider, you could be an employee, director, executive, consultant, or promoter at the company, and the sensitive information you leak could potentially impact the stock price of the company. Even if your association with the company is just 6 months old, you can be considered guilty if you release non public information. Now, the one term that makes all the difference here is UPSI, the unpublished price sensitive information, which, if leaked, can land the offender in jail. UPSI can be any non public company data, including quarterly results, dividends, mergers, acquisitions, and other transactions. With the help of this confidential information, insiders can.
All right, my Jamaican people, I'm going to carefully now show you one of the maneuvering what Nigel Clark had done. Now, watch this. Nigel Clark, right, was also the chairperson and director for separate. But I'm going to put up that and I'm going to show you something, what happened. Now, look, let us put up separate limited resignation of a director. Now, people, look at this. Separate limited resignation of a director. Separate limited has advised that Dr. Nigel Clark resign from separate board of directors and its subsidiaries and subcommittees effective March 27, 2018. Now, this was the time when Nigel Clark was getting into the politics, 2018. And so then he's supposed to resign in terms of what he did here. So what he did here was correct. But look, people, what he had done. Nigel Clark resigned from separate. But look on the next thing. Earlier, I asked that I said that I searched the entire internet. If Nigel Clark resigned from the Muscle Group of company, you're going to see why I asked that question. So we have Nigel Clark, right, resign here, which he ought to do. So that this is good to avoid conflict of interest. So this is what Nigel Clark done, and this is the right thing that he's supposed to do. But watch this now, people. Let us get to Jamaica cleaner. Mustn't. Look at this maneuvering what Nigel Clark did. So while he resigned from separate, look what happened next in 2024. Mutton, this is what is happened. This is what happened next. Nigel Clark, right, resigned from separate in 2018, right? I am not seeing any form of resignation coming from Nigel Clark from Mustang. Now, Mustang to cement control of separate through $1 billion take over offer. Published Sunday, January 21st, 2024. We know that, right? Upon to this point, Nigel Clark was the Minister of Finance, right? Now, look at this. Having recently purchased a small number of shares that upped its stakes in separate limited to just above half of the manufacturing and distribution group, the Mustang Jamaica conglomerate is making a takeover offer for more shares in line with market rules. Now, on January 5th, Mustang Jamaica Limited purchased 1,630 shares in separate, which gave the group a take of 50%. Now, take it away. So then, Nigel Clark resigned from separate. But there it is, still a director as it relates to Muslim group of company, right? And would have privy to certain information. Privy to certain information. Now, let us get to Nigel Clark Inter-American Dialogue 4. Nigel Clark, Jamaica Deputy Chairman and CFO for Muslim Group. People, here it is. I'm showing the evidence. Nigel Clark, Jamaica Deputy Chairman and CFO for Muslim Group. Dr. Nigel Clark is currently the Minister of Finance in Jamaica. Before being appointed as Minister, he was the Deputy Chairman and CFO of the Muslim Group, a diversified conglomerate headquartered in Jamaica with operations in the Caribbean, Central America, and the Pacific. He's also the Deputy Chairman of the PBS Group, a technology firm operating in the Caribbean and Central America, and Chairman of Epi Limited, a boutique finance institution in Jamaica. Now let us take it away. I want to just show that evidence. Now, why am I showing it? Because the Integrity Commission, right, also curious about this. The Integrity Commission, I'm going to tell you now and show you what the Integrity Commission asked the Parliament to do. The Integrity Commission asked the Parliament to ensure that they pass certain laws as it relates to insider trading, to ensure that politicians, parliamentarians are not enriching themselves. Now look at what the Integrity Commission had done. Insider trading. Now, insider trading risk, Integrity Commission calls for strict laws and guidance to mitigate conflict of interest and abuse of authority for financial gain by public officials. This is September 21st, 2024. The Integrity Commission is pressing for strict laws and guidance that will clamp down on activities that amount to insider trading, amid reports of parliamentarians and public officers acquiring shares and equities in public corporations and private companies regulated by the Jamaican government. The IC Director of Investigation, Kevin Stevenson, in the 171-page investigative report into Prime Minister Andrew Ornest's statutory declaration, raised concerns about the issue with respect to public officers and parliamentarians. So yes, the reason why I am saying to people that I have not seen Nigel Clark resign from the Muslim group, right? But yet the Muslim group, where Nigel Clark is a Minister of Finance, right, could have now been privy to certain critical information and personal information, and also could, right? I have no evidence that he has done that. Could, as it relates to parliamentarians, right, getting information and intel. Nigel Clark did not resign. As it relates to Muslim group, I have not seen that. Previously, in his recommendations, noted that the parliamentarians and public officers have engaged in the purchasing of shares. See the people? I know me I said it, I know me I say it, you know. I know me I say it. Previously, in his recommendations, noted that parliamentarians and public officers have engaged in the purchasing of shares and other equities in public corporation as well as private companies which fall under the regulatory regime of the Jamaica government. People said without prejudice to the right of any citizen to engage in any of the foregoing activities is recommending that the Parliament and the Cabinet Secretary implement strict laws and guidance to mitigate conflict of interest and abuse of authority for financial gain and other actions which may in substance amount to insider trading. Take that away. Let us get. Now, people, what is crippling is the silence of the PSOJ. The silence of the PSOJ. But here why PSOJ is silent, people. And this is going to shock you. The PSOJ of Jamaica is JLP. I am not joking, no, people. Hear what I'm saying? The PSOJ of Jamaica is JLP. Look on this document that I'm going to show you. Pull up the document. PSOJ committee directors. JLP members, right, are committee directors and PSOJ. Now, look on this people. Look at this. Let us get to and show the members, the membership, who upon a member. So when we say it is Jamaica Labour Party, now see here, people, Executive Committee 2006, Honorable Beverly Lopez, OGCD President, Earl Jarrett, Vice President, right? Give me right this in. Donovan Perkins, Vice President, Nigel Clark, Vice President, Honorable Williams McConnell, OG, Honorable Secretary, Vice President, Dan Webby, right? Honorable Treasury, Audit Hinchcliffe, CD Presidential Jamaica Employees Federation, Michael Bernard, President Shipping Association of Jamaica, Andre Garden, President Jamaica Exporters Association, Earl Moore, President Insurance. This is the reason why the Jamaica Labour Party silenced Horace Peterkin, President of Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, Keith Duncan, President Jamaica Security Dealers Association, William Clark, CD President Jamaica Bankers Association, and Lola Fong, right, Chief Executive Officer. Right, I should show you the report in terms of their association to the Jamaica Labour Party. We know for sure as it relates to Nigel Clark, Dan Webby, right, Jamaica Labour Party. Now, take that away. So then, of course, the Jamaica Labour, this is the reason why now the PSOJ is silent. Now, let me now just go to the panel and speak to Brother Ratty first. Now, Brother Ratty, let me ask you a question, Brother Ratty. And I'm going to ask you a question based on the jurisdiction in which you're from. In the United States of America, where you have someone who is responsible as it relates to the finance ministry, are those persons allowed to have interest in companies being managing director of companies on the American stock exchange?
No, that would be a clear conflict of interest. And you know, the way they word it, it's like the appearance of impropriety. It doesn't have to be a clear-cut case of somebody violating the law, but just the appearance of it. So no, you wouldn't be able to do that in the US. You wouldn't be able to be a government official and then have business on the side, and particularly businesses where have business with the government. No.
So then, based on what you're looking at here, where we have just presented the case, you see where the situation as it relates to the easy accessibility to insider trading, right? While we are not saying that, okay, that is the case, right? But we are talking about the illegality of that, to the fact that Nigel Clark, being the Minister of Finance, right, holding position as it relates to the Muslim group, do a maneuvering as it relates to separate, where we resign from separate, however, have not resigned from the Muslim group based on Google search.
Right.
Right? And so that this now would definitely be a conflict of interest. Do you agree with me?
Yeah. It's clear that while he was the minister, he was involved in private interests, and you cannot. I mean, but it just shows you that Jamaica, despite our claim to be a developing country, we're kind of backwards in several respects. One of them is that the laws have not been updated to reflect the current times. And you just look at the criminal law, the penal code itself. It doesn't, because if you look at some of the fines that they have for some of these crimes, it's ridiculous. 200 Jamaican dollars. What's that? It's nothing. And exactly. You pointed out as well that the Integrity Commission expressed concern that we don't have strong enough laws that govern all of these transactions. So what they were doing, and I don't know if they're still doing committing those acts, but it would appear as if it's perfectly legal. It might be immoral, but perfectly legal. And that's why the Integrity Commission is saying, look, we need to do something about this. But I'm not so sure that it's perfectly legal, because we have a financial investigative division, and they investigate financial crimes. So I'd like to know, what were they doing? What are they doing about this as well? So it's a huge mess, huge mess.
Ratty, let me say this. Do you think that this is something that MOCA should be looking into?
Yeah, you have MOCA, you have FID, you have the JCF, you have the Integrity Commission. You have a host of agencies that could be looking at this. But again, they're working in silos. They're not working cohesively, like in an intelligence sector, like a fusion center. They're not working in that kind of construct. And so everybody is just doing their own thing. And as you know, knowledge is power. And so if I have it and you don't have it, then you're weak and I'm strong. And that's exactly what the US government complained about regarding 9/11, saying that there was a failure of imagination because the intelligence components, they didn't coordinate, they didn't collaborate. The agency kept the information to itself. The FBI was doing its own thing. Everybody was just they share quite freely, and they don't share by exception. They share by rule, and they don't share by exception. To combat that problem. But that's what we have in Jamaica. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've heard stories of people overrunning each other in terms of their investigations, because there are no clear lanes, because people are just doing their own thing. And you know what? Some people have made the argument, and they've made it quite convincingly, that this is done by design, that them no want everybody on the same sheet of music and understand what's going on and fully trained and fully They don't want that. They want over here so I work and over here so I work and over there so I work, and so them can do them things and maneuver and all of that. And you know what? I have to believe that it's true, because every now and again they'll tell you that they receive training from this agency, that agency, about how to organize and reorganize. And then you ask them, okay, you received the training, what have you done? And you look, zero, nothing. It's just business as usual. And I was reading something today, and it was talking. Oh, I know it was. I was reading the Constitutional Reform Committee's report, and I was also reading the bill. And they were saying, oh, Jamaica, in the preamble for the report, they were saying Jamaica has built strong organizations. And I say, yeah, you really think so? Well, if that is the case, what they've done, they've put weak-willed people to run those strong organizations. They don't put strong people in there to run strong organizations. Exactly. And let me just say, I have to big up Miss Pamela Monroe Ellis, the Auditor General of Jamaica. That woman is one of my heroines. Just like Jeannette Calder is another one, because them people are stand up and them people are fight, and they know what they're up against. I have to tell the panel this and tell the the viewing audience, listening audience, it's tragic because I'm getting calls now from people who are getting death threats in Jamaica.
Wow.
And I'm talking about people in some serious positions, you know, positions where they can make a change in Jamaica, and they're getting death threats. It's getting worse. People are looking to leave right now.
Wow. Wow. Well, Ratty, trust me. Right. Thank you for that contribution. But people, remember, stay tuned because I'm telling you, more serious allegation is within this report, right? As we progress through this report, you're going to see more damning information in this particular report. So stay tuned. We just give the little warming up and the little smoke. Now, having said that, let me just bring Jamaics in the space. Jamaics, what you have to say as it relates to the report?
Yeah, I want to first outline that the Prime Minister in 2022, November, when the Integrity Commission gave training about the Ethics Code of Conduct, the Prime Minister did not sign it. Up to today's day, the 4th of January, did not sign that. So when we're here, we cannot talk about the Prime Minister in any type of good governance. We just want to make that clear. And to see how former Minister of Finance, Nigel Clark, has been jumping around and moving around from separate, then having Mosan having to buy separate and still be within it. Yeah, when we look at all of these things, insider trading, thank you for the nice video to further educate Jamaican people about what is actually happening in front of us and what to expect. These things are things that we must take it to empower us and to take action against this government. It's a government of a demagogue, which they're using fear on people, as Uncle Rattigan just outlined. And the Prime Minister, we cannot forget his words. He said that people are being tracked. And then the misinformation lady said that nobody is being tracked. So they want the Jamaican people to be in fear. Kleptocratic government.
Definitely.
We're seeing corruption from one arm to the next, to the next, to the next. It is a web of corruption and it is confusing. And only way the Jamaican people can get out of this is by more people making their voices heard, as the Prime Minister said, after we get this information. So when you look at it, you see him resign from separate, and then you can't see nothing where Mosan is concerned. Boy, him slick. That's all I can say. Him a walk with whole heap of grease. But it just shows you how the criminal mind works. And it's at a high level to think that it's an educated Jamaican that is doing this. As Marcus Garvey said from back then, the black whites of Jamaicans, of Jamaica, where they get a little bit of education and use it instead of to uplift Jamaicans, but to suppress the voice of others and step on others to move forward. It is crazy, but let me tell you, Nigel Clark, we know who you are. You're a traitor to the Jamaican people.
So true. Wonderful input. I love our the mic just not up that. All right, Pastor Ricky, you're in the space. Kick it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, this is basically organized crime manifesting as you reveal this document. When we look at the PSOJ and Webby and Clark sitting on the boards as a bridge to the Jamaica Labour Party, and Clark having trading to Mustin on the stock exchange, we don't know for sure if he's passing on information that the public doesn't know as it relates to stocks for the company, because Martha Stewart, a famous cook, a television host, went to prison and served some time in the United States for the same thing. And there was another congressman from upstate New York, went to jail for the same thing. In America, insider trading is illegal. And so when we look at how the web of people that are not, there's no accountability, no transparency,
No.
and everything is done in secrecy, but yet the finance minister, who has the purse for the country, sitting on the board of the PSOJ, and is involved in companies that's trading on the stock market.
Crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't make it makes you begin to see the scope of criminality and corruption on a wide level. And then my last point is, when you think of all of these companies that was on the Jamaica Stock Exchange that are no longer on the stock exchange, you might want to wonder what's going on. I think it's like 20. Correct me if I'm wrong. If my recollection serves me well, I think it's over 22 companies that got booted off the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Yes, roughly about that. You're in the current figure.
Right. So there needs to be an investigation, and then with the IC making recommendations to the criminals that's supposed to pass the law to tighten up the loopholes to avoid the appearance of insider trading or insider trading, which is illegal. And yet we have not seen any legislation passed since September when the IC made that recommendation. But yet they're so quick to do other things as if they're governing. But this is so important to help weed out corruption, and they're dragging their feet on it. So that's my contribution.
All right, Ishmael, you know the thing going on. Meanwhile, you're coming in, go and big up some tablet and make the comments same time. Big tablet and make comments. Not hearing you, Ishmael.
You hearing me now?
Yes, yes.
Right. Sorry about that. Yeah, man.
Make the people rope in with some tablets, someone.
Yes, man. Yes, man. People, listen. Good evening again, because it's very important, you know, that we continue our fight in helping the Jamaican children and the Jamaican, by extension, the people of Jamaica, by teaching them how to fish. I said the government decided to give out 15,000. Sorry, it's not 1,500. 15,000 tablets, and I want to know how much per parish, because that is very important. How much per parish the government is willing to give. But I put it to you, diaspora, that but not for you, this wouldn't have happened. So because of that, let us show them what support and coming together really looks like. So we're just begging just 10 tonight. Please, 10. We could start with 1. Anybody put in the first one? Because it's very important that we continue the advocacy through this side. Because even though Mystic Sensation is here, Sir Will is here, we can do so much. So we're asking for an extra hand up through you guys in assisting the children in Eastern Portland.
All right. Please. All right.
Yeah, man, just one. We start with 1. That's how we count. We don't count 28, and we don't count, you know, what's the next number after 28? Ratigan? You want me to tell you the next number after 28? 49. We don't count like that.
All right, guys. So the GoFundMe link is in the
Thank you.
chat. Let me just pin it so you can click on it and donate.
All right. Remember, we are supporting the children. We are supporting
if you're donating.
Yeah, we are supporting the children with their education, right? So
Yes,
I mean, you know, who can donate? Just donate something, and you know.
You're not putting the tablets in the hands of the government. We're gonna lock it up in our room and sell it back.
All right. So
I mean,
all right. So any other thing, Ishmael?
Yeah. I mean, the continued efforts by the government is absolutely laughable. To so we see this week the news space has been a buzz with activities instead of the activities that matters, which is
Exactly.
the activities. I'm not sure if you heard about this huge audit that happened and found over $700 million in unauthorized payments at the
Yes.
Ministry of Labor.
Yes.
So
Crazy.
no have time to talk about hush money or loud money or whatever kind of money. And you don't have time to give out tablet for put in a closet in a people place. But you don't have time for talk about what really matters.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, thank you for that, Ishmael. Now we are going to go into more bombshell situation, you know, because Niger Clark situation is not really the bombshell, you know. Right? So let me just warn that. Right? Now, let us get back to the report, right? As it relates to the investigation report, let us get back to that because we are going to see, right, what transpired here as it relates to the investigators, what they picked up. So Stephen Landell was found. All right, let us deal with this. Stephen Landell was found to be in possession. This is Jeannette Calder's brother. Stephen Landell was found to be in possession of an expensive home in New York, estimated to be $1.48 million in value, and working at a Long Island. All right, I'm not going to I'm not going to give out that information, right? Because we want to protect that information. Let me just start to Ratty there with the panel as it relates to let me get back to the panel and talk to Ratty. So brother Ratty, all right, as it relates to this is my take on it now. As it relates to Jeannette Calder's brother being a registered nurse, right? And we have seen that the investigators found, as it relates to his ownership of a $1.48 million house, right? To me, right, I am not going to see that as a as anything significant, and this is the reason why I'm not going to see that significant. Being a nurse, being a registered nurse, right? I think he will be easily getting over $100,000, right? Per year annually, right? Number one, what we don't know, what I would like in terms of might be the investigators should have done in terms of identify whether he paid for the house via cash, right? As opposed to mortgage, right?
Okay.
Because we don't know that. So we are not going to accuse him of anything. Because we don't know if he's paying a mortgage or he purchased it cash. If he purchased it cash, then I would have some interest in it. You understand now? But if it is a mortgage thing, then I think that is attainable. It is attainable as it relates to him getting over $100,000 per year. And number one, we don't know if he have an alternative income. Simply means if he has a wife who might be a nurse or a doctor, and then put both incomes together, right? Then of course it's attainable. What have you what is your findings about that? Let me hear it.
No, it's you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
Based on what we're seeing, we don't know if it's a combined income.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't know if it's a combined income. Maybe he won the lottery. We don't know. Maybe what's interesting though is that I don't know if this. I've seen his name anywhere connected to the prime minister. So
yes,
I don't know how that. I can't make it. I don't want to speculate on that. But you're absolutely correct. The money could have been sourced from a variety of places. Perfectly legal. Perfectly legal. We don't know.
So I don't see that as
no, it's not a problem.
Exactly. So we are going to move on. Go back to the report.
But before going further, getting to going back to the tablet thing, I just looked there and I see where in 2020 the government said that they were gonna expand the tablet initiative by buying 100,000 tablets for teachers and students, and then they were going to increase that number. This is 2020. And yet we see where a report came out from the Auditor General saying 300 and something, we don't know where they are.
Oh, you remember about the laptop and tablet drives and all, now teacher don't get it. Guys, thanks to you, we have 300 tablets in East Portland. Give us, I beg you, 2 more.
Okay. What was I going to? Oh, you can actually reach out to you can send, some of you have actually sent money already for tablets to the foundation and ask us to purchase them because they figure that, it's probably, because some people have said we want to buy one, and for them to wire transfer the funds, it's, I don't know, $60, I think, for a wire transfer or something like that. So it's not worth it. So they say, here, what you do? Can you just collect and collate and just send the money out? So we're actually trying to do that, just trying to facilitate it for everybody. So that's where so you should be getting some, because there's one person, I don't know if Christopher will mention this. Well, actually, Christopher, because he actually.
Oh yes, yes, I remember.
Yeah, so Christopher sent some money to buy 20.
10? Woo!
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, Christopher.
All right. Blessings to that.
Give me a call, Christopher.
All right.
I should be sending you that. I should be sending you the money this week.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now, Bolo, big up yourself. Bolo in the chat. And people, remember.
That can beat you. You know what the topic is going.
Yeah, remember to support Bolo. Right. Because Bolo definitely doing some excellent work. So big up Bolo. Right. And blessings for passing through. Now let us get back to the document. As I said, more telling information as it relates to this. So we are going to let go this as it relates to Jeannette owner's brother. To me personally, this is a nothing burger, right? So we are not going to dwell on it. But we want to just remind vloggers who are spreading false information as it relates to Jeannette owner's brother, right? To involve in drugs. It is a rumor, it is a lie, it is not true. So let us move on in the report. Over here now we speak truth to term. Right, we are not going to accuse anyone wrongfully. So Jeannette owner's brother has nothing to do with any form of drugs or anything the sort. All right, he's a registered nurse, and he's the only brother that Jeannette owner's has. I'm going to through some of these information because I don't want people personal information to be out there. So we just run along, you understand, and get to the specific information that I need, right? I have already run through this document already, so I know what I want, right? So let us get to there and get into the meat of the matter, all right? But trust me, the investigators, they have done an excellent work, right? Very, 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 them comb the ground properly. Right? Yeah, man, them comb the ground properly, may I tell the people. Understand? Some of them information there, we just go pass through them and get to the main points, right? Yeah, so I run through. So it's sure that the investigators them do. Okay. So here it is. Huh? You can bring it up. Okay, relationship diagram surrounding Andrew, Michael, Owness. All right, see it? All the relationship affiliation. All of the relationship affiliation around Andrew, Michael, Owness. This is what we want. Here it is, people. right? So we are going to get into this. This is what we are going to get into. As I said, people, bombshell is here. Notes on Dan Webby. Source, WikiLeaks. Dan Webby, Minister without portfolio, Minister of Finance and Public Service. Dan Webby, Vice President of one of Jamaica's most powerful companies, has been named Minister without portfolio to work alongside new Finance Minister Adli Shah. The appointment of Dan Webby to the Ministry of Finance has been helpful in calming financial circles at home and abroad. Dan Webby, Deputy Head of Grace Kennedy Limited and CEO of GK Investment, has taken a 2-year leave of absence from his job in order to bring fresh strategies to managing Jamaica's struggling economy. Webby has stated that his first task will be tackling Jamaica's debt problem. Now, Dan Webby appointment is significant in order to find its way through this globalization maze, right? Not going to read so much of that. Dan George Webby, all right. I want to just get to the root of the matter, timeline of events. Let us get into this. Now, people, I want to applaud these investigators in terms of picking up even the very same thing that Zara Burton had picked up, right? So it goes to show you that the investigators had done an extremely good job now, and they break it down for us. 1999, August, formation of Omega Bridge Finance Limited. Well, let me see if I missed any important information up here. Okay, so this is Dan Webby. Okay, all right. Making sure. 1990 of August, formation of Omega Bridge Finance Limited, address 25 Jamaica, and this is all about Andrew's owners business, but the investigators are picking up. St. Andrew Jamaica, company number 61765, status active incorporated 04 August 1999, sorry, 2000 December, formation of West Central St. Andrew Trust. Robert Gavin was listed as deceased director as of November 1, 2016 in the company West Central St. Andrew Trust, for which the Andrew owners was listed as a director. The company which was incorporated on December 20, 2000, detailed charitable services as its core business activity. The other directors listed were Khadisha Campbell, Mark Azan, Delroy Williams, Ken Gaman, right, and Glendon Saman. 2004, right, October, the entity Westcon Construction Limited was incorporated on October 11, 2004, and was registered by the Company's Office of Jamaica, right, with the following directors and shareholders: Robert Gavin, director shareholder; Donovan Simpson, director shareholder; and Jerome Green, secretary in Western Construction Limited, L registration with the National Contracts Commission. Right? This is the art of nepotism, you know? Because these persons work with Andrew owners. These persons, again, have interest in Andrew owners' company, right? Andrew owners, and these persons are directors in some of the companies. So this shows you the nepotism and the corruption in terms of Andrew owners aiding and abetting. I want people to understand this. Aiding and abetting. You understand? Robert Gavin, right? To get contract. Here it is. Western Construction Limited, L registration with the National Contracts Commission. During the following period, July 11, 2008, July 10, 2009, May 21st, 2007, May 20, 2008, and April 11, 2006, April 10, 2007. Both directors, Garvin and Simpson, are known to Mr. Holness. Both Andrew Holness and Robert Garvin were listed directors of the company Sunshine Mobile Company, for which the core business activity was the provision of transportation consultancy See which part now? Hold on the people. Come here, some now people. Hold on there. Problem this. Both directors, Garvin and Simpson, are known to Mr. Honest. Both Andrew Honest and Robert Garvin were listed directors of the company Sunshine Mobile Company, for which the core business activity was the provision of transportation consultancy. Hold on there. I'm going to go down a little bit. Western Construction Limited in 2006, November 1st to July 16, 2009. Watch this now. Western Construction Limited awarded government contracts. NWA failed to report to the Office of the Contractor General. Failure of the Ministry of Education to report the OCG contracts which were awarded. Conflict of interest. Hear it now, people. Mr. Honest awarded contracts to a company in which at least one of the directors is a personal friend for over 20 years. Want to hear that, people? As well as a business partner. Mistress Golden Randall reported that for this time period, 4 contracts were not reported by the Ministry of Education. Want to hear that, people? Andrew Wallace, listen up. Youth and Information and 26 contracts unreported by the NWA to the OGC. It is a kleptocratic government. Now, the value of 34 contracts awarded around $33 million, $787,368.32. In 2007, May, formation of JAJ Management and Consultant comes. No, this is Mrs. Honest Company. People who can know. This is Andrew Honest White Company. This is Jeannette Honest Company. In 2007, May, formation of JAJ Management and Consultancy Limited. Jamaica registered in May 2007, right? At 28 Beechwood Avenue, Kingston 5, St. Andrew. Go down in here, sir. Jamaica Company 74031. The company status is removed. Wilfred Bailey was the secretary. I wonder if the Bailey, Wilfred Bailey, or Patrick Bailey, brother. We're going to have to research now. 2007 September, Omega Bridge Finance Limited, address 25 Damica Drive, St. Andrew, Jamaica, company number 61765. Status, active incorporation 04 August 1999. Hear this now, people. Both Robert Garvin and Jeannette Honest were listed as directors of the company Omega Bridge Finance, for which the core business activity recorded was investment. Of note, Andrew Honest was listed as a sales director in the company as of September 7, 2007, and is listed as a shareholder together with Robert Gavin. On the other paper, Bangaranga tonight, you know. 2007 December recommendation. Western Construction Limited was recommended by way of a letter which was dated December 20, 2007, authored by the most Honorable Andrew Honest for the award of contract in the amount of $1,450,000 for works in the West Central St. Andrew constituency relating to 2007 Christmas work program. But you know, people bang around there. 2008 SSL. Honest noted that he had disclosed in February 2016 that he held an investment brokerage account with SSL, which was opened in 2008. However, he said in September 2021, he liquidated the last remaining financial instrument managed by SSL and gave instruction for his account to be closed. I have no funds currently with SSL, and I have not done any business with SSL since September 2021. When I said, now, 2008, ADMAT registered in St. Lucia. The name of the company, ADMAT, is a combination of the names of 2 sons, Adam and Matthew Honest. Andrew Honest said he is the sole director of the company, and the company has 3 shareholders, being my sons and myself. The company was registered in 2008 and declared to the Integrity Commission that year. Everything I own is physically in Jamaica, as according to Andrew Ones, 2010. Subject started negotiation to purchase a piece of land to construct family home. People no look. 2011, subject made the first of 4 payments on the land. 2011, title was transferred. Funds from my account at JMMB and Stocks and Security SSL Limited were used to finance the purchase of the property. Now, panel, listen to me now. In all of the 28 accounts, we don't see any money coming from any of the 28 accounts going into SSL. Nothing like that. But yet the Prime Minister is getting money out of SSL. This has to be explained to the Jamaican people. Has to be explained. 2011, August, payments completed. Right? 2011, Andrew Ones becomes Prime Minister from October 2011 to January 2012. Yeah, the start stick that he took. 2011, May, formation of JAMPJA Development and Holdings Limited, right? The new one, the registered number is there. Year 2110. Local Wilfred Bailey, Secretary, Active Company. Ratty, we have got to do some stinge to find out if Wilfred Bailey is Patrick Bailey's brother, because we know that Patrick Bailey, right, is the person who helped him set up them company, I know. Right? Tavistock Terrace, St. Andrew, Kingston, 2012. Andrew Ones is the leader of the opposition, January 2012 to March 2016. In 2012, same way, formation of JG Land and Development Limited, 84184. Locally, Wilfred Bailey, Secretary, Active Company, right, 21 June 2012. Now, in 2012, 9 Great House Boulevard, St. Andrew, Kingston, subject began preparation of the site for construction, which involved excavation of boulders and fragment of rocks. The resulting stones from this process were used to construct retaining, facing, and boundary walls. This initial phase was financed from my savings, salary, and supplier credit of approximately 3.8 million. This initial phase cost approximately 8.6 million. So what on the ratty now? Here what now? Remember now? Them time of the Prime Minister get only just the Prime Minister now get $6 million now. The Prime Minister wasn't getting $6 million. The Prime Minister they get roughly about $5.8 million. Right? And was able to do all of them something here. You understand? Where the Prime Minister get the money from? 2012, 2020 to 2020, Jeannette Calder's company, JJ Development Holding starts $22 million development of housing project in St. Andrew. Right? Now, in 2014, we completed all major construction, and in that year spent approximately 9 million financed by salary, savings, and supplier credit. Now, before 2015, businesses connected to Prime Minister Andrew, right? The OCG deemed it necessary to review the incorporation and registration of the following companies, which were alleged to have had connections with the Prime Minister. Now what's known, people? Positive Jamaica Foundation Limited, right? Active incorporation before 2015. Want to hear that, people? Sunshine Mobile Company Limited, active incorporation before 2015. West Central St. Andrew Trust, active incorporation before 2015. Amiga Bridge Finance Limited, active incorporation before 2007. The Leader Taxi Service Limited, remove, dissolve, incorporation before. I get what on there. Panel, me catch the Prime Minister. The backside. People of Jamaica, me catch the Prime Minister. See evidence of Prime people. Remember when I read the document when you went to Big Mama station and told Big Mama that he brought in $47 million. right, from his taxi service limited. Now, see the people, see the evidence here? The leader taxi service limited remove and dissolve incorporation before 2015. So then in 1994, right, the Prime Minister did not have the leader taxi service limited. So in 1997, so this is full-fledged lie from the Prime Minister. We catch the Prime Minister right here. So see the people, the leader taxi service limited, that, right, that he said, right, gave him that money, $47 million. See that it's removed. People see the evidence here? Remove. It is done. Because the Prime Minister know that he lied. So then the question still asks Andrew Holness, where did you get the $47 million from? You in a bangarang tonight. See that? See the evidence saying the leader taxi service limited remove dissolve incorporation before 2015. Now in 2015, there was no significant construction activity as the project was substantially complete. 2016, Web Archive of www.jamaica.com registered Andrew. Okay. This is something, this is the Barbados, that something that he has in Barbados here. Now, on June 9, 2016, the Office of the Contractor General, acting on behalf of the Contractor General and pursuant to the provisions which are contained in Section 15 subsection 1 and 16 of then applicable Contractor General Act, initiated an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the award of Government of Jamaica contract to Western Construction Limited during the period 2006 to 2009. Now, people, see the big bomb killer we are talking about? You make me wipe off my lip. Let me eye up my lip. Make me eye up my lip. People, watch a bombshell here. Darrell Vaz said good. The man who control East Portland said good. You understand? What you say? Portland or Vazland? Boy, you're right. Look at that tonight, people. 2019, Darrell Vaz in Mexico. The incident involved Vaz travels to Mexico City to collect kickbacks from his Moon Palace Resorts connections for his role in the rooms and the beach deal. A prime Jamaican property. The payments of US $2 million were made through the Jamaican commission agent. But Mr. Vaz collected $475 $1,000 in Mexico City, right? The financial transaction flowed through the US banking system, and Mr. Vaz was fingered, and when consolidated with the US real estate and huge construction work at his house in Portland, whoa, Vaz was sanctioned. These funds were also used to acquire additional properties in Portland near Monkey Island. People don't hear that. An operations manager of the National Commercial Bank, NCB, has been arrested and charged with larceny as a servant after investigation by the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime CETA branch yesterday uncovered fraud involving $35 million. You know what, Mr. People? We'll get back to the red fast. The Jamaican Constabulary Force on Thursday evening reported on Twitter that Andrea Garden, 52, was taken into custody after investigation by CETA detective revealed that funds had been freezed from the institution. Sentenced 7.5 years in jail. Garden was represented by attorney at law Vincent Willesley, right? Andrew Holness become Prime Minister 2020, but what on it? 2021 September, Prime Minister liquidate the last remaining financial instrument managed by SSL and gave instruction of his account to be closed. What are the people? Stop trying to say that. Boy, this is a meter too sweet. You understand? Now, people, when I see this with Darrell Vaz, this is what Mystic Sensation had done. I said, no, I am going to do some research where this is concerned. Now, people, let us get to the research in terms of what I personally had done to corroborate this, because we're going to ask the panel some very serious questions. Take it away, honey. But remember, so we still use it. We are getting at the Darrell Vaz bombshell, yeah? Because this is a real bombshell. JamaicaStar.com, another Vaz lose its visa. So, Big Mama, let me talk to you. May I give you a telephone? May I give you a telephone call? May I ask you if you're going to speak about them something tomorrow? You understand? You're involved in a PNP business. You're involved in a PNP business. Internal affair. You're going in a PNP internal affair. And you know, say the whole of your party bottom. Bottom business. So I'm just prove about that. East Portland Member of Parliament Anne-Marie Vaz had her US diplomatic visa revoked. Want to know one people know? Anne-Marie Vaz, your visa revoked. You're there to run for Parliament. You're there in a Parliament that kick up yourself. This was confirmed yesterday by her husband, Government Minister Darrell Vaz, who in a statement said that the visa she possessed was withdrawn by the embassy as it relates to her visitor's visa, which had expired. An application for renewal was recently made on Thursday, December 5th, 2019, when she visited the U.S. Embassy in Kingston for her appointment. The visa renewal was declined. The statement read, Mistress Vaz is presently in the process of pursuing this matter with the U.S. Embassy in Kingston. Take that away. Take that away. We don't come people. We are coming. Domestic sanitation, do some more Google search. I want to get to the bottom and property with Darrell Vaz sold. The next document going to show you some things. Go on the panel, me soon come. Darrell Vaz. At the time when Darrell Vaz dealt with this property, Darrell Vaz was working in where? Where Darrell Vaz, you understand, was working at the time as it relates to his responsibility. Into the office of the Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Yes, Jamaican people. Darrell Vaz was working into the Prime Minister office, Andrew Holness. I'm look at our people. When we read out this document, I'm going to ask some questions. Long time they were thief. We can't say that now. I don't know them are thief. When you hear me say, I not take back that. Long time. You know, let me speak properly. They're stealing long time.
It's a long time that they've been stealing.
And we can use different it's a long time they have been stealing. Yeah. Patwa. A long time they were thief. They don't take it back. Now, bring up the next document. Why Darrell Vaz allegedly lost his visa. Let us get into that. Long time. Darrell Vaz are going like, me and you tonight in Darrell Vaz. Now, see dear people, so November 8, 2019, we are getting at some things tonight. You know. The sender said he isn't sure, but here, the real reason why Darrell Vaz lost his US visa, everybody has been busy speculating and lying about the reason for the revocation of Philip Powell's visa. Some of the stories read like an action move, some like a thriller, and others appear to come straight from Fantasyland. Yet, as we read and digest the Disney like fantasy about Powell's revocation, We hear no reason for the revocation of Darrell Vaz diplomatic and visitors visa. The diplomatic visa, which is granted under right of passage, clauses of the Geneva Convention give ministers and diplomats a free pass to do the country's business. So why would the US rescind the diplomatic visa and the B1 and B2 visitor visa on October 8 without a specific incident which breach the understandings under which the visa is granted? The US government will tell you there were material breaches of Minister Vaz which caused the State Department, the FBI, and the DEA. Now, this is a drug enforcement agency, people. This no look good. Now, can read back that over. There were material breaches by Minister Vaz which caused the State Department, FBI, and DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, to all agree on the revocation and cause pressure on Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The incident involved, let us get into it now, people. The incident involved Vaz traveled to Mexico to collect kickbacks from his Moon Palace Resorts connections for his role in rooms and beach deal. A prime Jamaica property, the payment of $2 million US. People, Peter, the payments of $2 million US were made through the Jamaican Commission agent. But Mr. Vaz collected $475,000 in Mexico City. The financial transaction flowed through the US banking system, and Mr. Vaz was fingered. And when consolidated with US real estate and huge construction works at his house in Portland, Vaz was sanctioned. These funds were also used to acquire additional properties in Portland near Monkey Island. The Moon Palace money also led to the Prime Minister, people, hey, Papa Jesus, come here, people. Come here, people. So, well, I'm going to read back this over. The Moon Palace money also led to the Prime Minister, who made a huge and illegal cash lodgement to First Global Bank in New Kingston. Papa Jesus, Darrell Vaz, and Andrew want to share up the money. The Global in New Kingston, which the US authorities have flagged because it's violating US laws. The deposit was not reported as the law requires. This caused the bank officer, who is a strong GLP supporter, you hear that, people, and acted as NHT chairman, to be fired. Bangarang. He has since been rehired at Jamaica Nation. Administration. So when we say, you understand, Andrew Holness, government gone rogue, right? You know, have to believe me, it's the facts, yeah? He has since been rehired at Jamaica National Jane Bank by Curtis Martin. On the why I'm sure no Nigel Clark and Dan Webber, as it relates to private sector of Jamaica, them not saying nothing about them as something, man, because the GLP and PSOJ, on the mark that down, you know. Jamaica Labour Party is the PSOJ, so PSOJ, what on the GLP, Jamaica Labour Party member of Parliament, you're not going to speak out for themselves. They're not going to speak out for themselves. Because the PSOJ, new corona this. The investigation at the bank has been blocked by Senator Dan Webby. You know, hear that, people? Senator who? Dan Webby. See the corruption of people? See that? The investigation at the bank has been blocked by who? Senator Dan Webby. a GLP senator and chairman of GK Financial Services. However, the US FBI officers who came to Jamaica remain concerned about the transactions. The name Andrew Holness itself, along with Police Commissioner Anthony Anderson Baxter, we never know him caught up in the signature. No wonder why. No wonder why. So that's why Anthony Anderson as Commissioner of Police came up for visa revocation. People see it there. Anthony Anderson, Commissioner of Police, the then Commissioner of Police, came up for visa revocation within the State Department. When you hear that, people, the U.S. authority believe that Mr. Vaz is at the center of racketeering, money laundering, and other financial crimes, and their investigation in the U.S. is pointing to the threatening the very existence of the Holness government. The matter is not over. Hey, that's how we're going to talk to the panel. Let me jump and talk to the panel. Woo! You copy that? Boy, I'm going to blow off. Pierce smoke, I call it pierce smoke. Pierce smoke in that place. Let me frog with the smoke here. Well, let me frog with this. Too much smoke, man. Sarati. Me go tell to Pastor Ricky and Jamaica. Sarati. Let me ask you a question. Now, I tell them what they go on. You mean to tell me, say, Andrew Holness and Darrell Vaz make up in collusion to sell Jamaica property, Jamaica asset, undervalue it. Remember, the people understand where they go. Undervalue the asset. And Andrew Holness send Darrell Vaz to Mexico to go collect $2 million. And so then, when Darrell Vaz reached Pacayardia, you understand? He split the money between him and Andrew Holness. How are they going to? Ratty, please speak to the panel, please. Please speak to the panel.
Hey, you know.
No, sir.
This world is a very, very small place. Technology has made it even smaller. And
no, sir.
Nothing you do. They have some agencies here that I won't call no names, but they track people's movements, listen to your phone calls, look at your bank transaction. Them have sources around you. There's very little you can do that them don't know. Them don't have to dead near you either. Them can stay miles and miles and miles and miles away and just figure out your every move. Now, those reports, if you believe them, right? It's an indictment. They're an indictment of everything that's going on in Jamaica, and it's been going on for a while. And like I've said to people, because remember at one point that they must say, "Oh, Rattigan, I work for the FBI still, and this and him want to know what we have done." And I say, listen, there's been there for come to Jamaica for no one. The government don't need me for find out one. Them know. Listen to them, say them know. Them know through human and intelligence sources. Them know. The analysts them put all of this thing together already. Them know. Them don't need nobody. In fact, like I said to you, if I want to find out about crime in Jamaica, I wouldn't talk to the police commissioner. I would have talked to somebody with a designation regional security officer assigned to the U.S. Embassy. That person knows everything about what's going on in Jamaica with the crime. If I want to know about anything having to do with medicine in Jamaica, the health situation or whatever, I just go talk to the regional medical officer. I'm going to talk to Minister Tufton and Finn people. Them don't know what's going on. Because it's a way that these people operate at them, get certain information, and it's collated, and it's verified, and it's disseminated. And so, if these reports are true, and I'm waiting to see, because I do recall that Mr. Vaz's visa was taken away from him, and that his wife. Well, he just showed the thing with it. Well, actually, yes, it says so in the news clipping.
Yeah.
The both visas.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we're seeing it. Them take back the visas, them. And so you ask yourself, why would they do that? Why? Because to take away a public official's visa, especially somebody the stature of Mr. Vaz, that went to the highest level. That is not something that an agent just said, I'm going to take it away. This is something that actually was discussed with the ambassador. I can guarantee you that. And it went from the ambassador, it went to Washington, to the State Department. Because that, and if you go to their handbook, it will tell you that something like this is not something taken lightly, because this could affect relations with foreign governments and all that. So they take it very, very seriously. So unless they have hard evidence that this person is involved one way or another,
yeah,
unless they have it, they're not going to do it. No, a regular Joe Blow, they would just have a suspicion and take away your thing. Or somebody can do what they call a poison pen letter. Somebody can write and say, hey, you know, Byron, this, that. And all they have is just a reasonable suspicion. They don't have to have any proof, and they can take away a visa. But for a government official, it's more than that. It's much, much more than that. The threshold is higher. And that decision was made in Jamaica, but confirmed or affirmed in Washington, D.C., affirmed in Washington. So what will happen is that they would say, hey, look, we want to do this, and they'd go to the mothership in D.C. and say, we want to do this. Is this the right time to do it? Is this the right thing to do? Because we don't want to upset, relationships. And then a decision was made in Washington, take the visa. So for them to do that, it don't look good.
But Ratty, the viciousness of this though is so obviously based on what the report is saying, a conspiracy between Darrell Vaz and the Prime Minister to undervalue the property in Jamaica, right? And send Vaz, right, to Mexico to collect kickback. And then Vaz came down and shared the money. And this, look, I'm going to show something. But before I show that, remember, I know this is 2019,
Yes.
I'm going to show you something, but let me just go on the panel.
And quickly before you leave, the thing about it is that all this took place in 2019,
Yeah?
All this took place in 2019. So there is a connection.
Yes.
It's not like this happened 29 and then 10 years later them come back and you can say, well, there's no connection. You try to figure out the connection. All this took place within that short period of time.
Definitely.
So, well, like you said, made a spin right now, bangarang, so you delivered, you promised it and you delivered.
Exactly. All right. So, of course, Jamaica, touch it.
Hey, there's so much to uncover, man. A pile of information, but from stages to stages. And I just want to repeat something that you have said. And people should know that we have a social responsibility of the things that we say, how we say it, and when we say it. So you said that it was false information to say that the brother of the Speaker of the House, Juliet Holness, that he is drug dealing and all of that. So people again refrain from saying things that can get you a lawsuit, get you in trouble. You have a social responsibility and you must be disciplined. Talk the truth, nothing but the truth. And boy, we just there take some notes of everything. You said real bombshell and you said bangaraga. Trust me, there's a lot, and I'm just here taking it in. And I can see why they are such a clique with Darrell Vaz and the Prime Minister.
Yes.
And them. It is showing now.
Yes.
Shows money thicker than blood.
Diego, I didn't even know that Darrell Vaz once working at the office of the Prime Minister.
Of the Prime Minister. Neither did I. No, we know. I think them only did a fail in a transport and technology. Jamaica, they really 30, 40, 50 years behind in a technology,
Definitely.
So
Yeah, of course.
it is bad. Me thinks I just only there was failing. Probably he was failing underneath the prime minister before I'm failing again. But as I tell you, I'm just looking to and I say how everybody connect. It is a web of corruption.
Yeah.
Kleptocracy, we keep saying the word people. It is a real thing. Every section of the government is connected in terms of corrupting. Everybody scraping. Everybody a drag and a put it out that one bag and put it over there. So it is
See,
horrible. It is bad how them a treat the money. And it's good. I'm just sitting and listening and taking notes where I can because it is a lot. And thank you for getting this report so people can
listen.
get information, man.
All right. Pastor Ricky, kick it.
Boom!
All right.
Man, I am loving this. A long time we tell them so them are criminal, you know.
Yeah.
I say, oh yeah, pastor not talk so. But we know. And nobody now spread no rumor. One thing about video evidence, document evidence, voice note evidence, and their own words, it always come back to haunt them. Now, I hear the criminal Voss says when he was going to the prime minister had his back, and now he's gonna have the prime minister back. So now it makes sense to me why he was saying that. The thing is, and big up Rattigan, the former FBI general. The FBI use satellite technology, drone listening devices. Like Sir Rattigan said, you don't have to dep on the ground for know what go on. Them are listen from in the ear. Them are watch from in the ear. Them eyes is everywhere. And so this explains the 1-year visa waiver that
Yeah.
criminal laws get. And me not respect none of them. None of them criminals they want to honor them. Because them are criminal, including the prime minister. Vaz get a 1-year visa after his visa in 2019 was revoked, as you show. Then the incompetency of him hold it up and go take picture with it and put it in the cyber internet space. So when we put the nominal number was started 212A in the State Department database, it reveals the classified information, unclassified information for people
Yes.
with that kind of waiver. And it says they're involved in illicit drugs trafficking and money laundering. And so when he went to Mexico on the behalf of the prime minister, if he's now labeled in the US government as a illicit drug trafficker and a money launderer because the money hit the US SWIFT system, right? I don't think alone him go down there alone for look about properties because we all know Mexico is one of the biggest drug hub where the cartels them that the illicit stuff through the Caribbean as Jamaica as a hub into US and Canada. So these criminals, this is why they're fighting so hard to stay into office, into government, because they know once they leave office, straight out prison them a go. Them a talk about third term loading, a prison term a load for the whole of them. And listen,
Kick it, Pastor Ricky.
we're not ramping none of them criminals. Hey, one thing with me, I'm glad I'm a preacher because I tell it like it. When I preach on the pulpit, people scared and say me I preach for them because me's a straight teller, true teller. Anyhow, people of East Portland, people of West Portland, you have 2 MPs there where them visa has been revoked by the US government. One of them from West Portland is involved in drug trafficking and illicit and money laundering. It's in the nominal number on the visa that he held up and took a picture with. You don't need people of those kind of character representing you in government. They're about their own interests, and you need to vote them out so Jamaica can turn a brand new page and start a fresh page of getting rid of corruption. As long as these criminals are in office, they cover for each other. You wonder why nobody now leave government and say, boy, Prime Minister, I done it. I try to save my skin. Because the whole of them involved in these web of corruption. When you look at the insider trading, the criminal Prime Minister was involved in stocks and trading himself. And he knew he was a shareholder in SSL. It's bigger than SSL is bigger than the FinSac, the battle meltdown. And one of the reasons why they cannot release the Kroll report from the investigators in England that came to Jamaica to investigate SSL is because he was the shareholder in SSL and he had inside trader information that the Ponzi scheme SSL is flopping and going under. So according to the IC report, as you eloquently said, we have no evidence that he invested money into SSL. Just like we see Bolt put in 12 million US dollars in 2012. According to the IC report, the Prime Minister had at least 3 withdrawals that we know about from SSL. We don't know how much more withdrawal he had from SSL. He bought the property in 2011, as you just showed, when billed him $300 million mansion fund. Then they start construction in 2012, right after Bolt invested $12 million in an SSL. His wife start her $800 million property in 2012 too. So what was the source of funding? Yet he was a shareholder in SSL. So the whole picture and puzzle come together, and these people, they are the most dishonorable people in the government in Jamaica. I don't know why we refer to them as honorable. They're dishonorable. They're criminals. They cheat taxpayers, and then they put a smile on their face as if they have no conscience, run out to the mic and attack their opposition leader, who none of us have any evidence that he's ever involved in these kind of criminality. You see what I'm saying? Comrade leader Mark Golding came into office. He already made his fortune before as a businessman, as a bank executive, as a real estate guru. And since he's been in politics in 2012, there is no evidence of any type of corruption associated and linked with him. But these criminals who has dirty hands and dirty heart should be locked up in prison in a jumpsuit right now. I don't even want them to go to prison in Jamaica. I'm foreign them for come to prison. Because in Jamaica, them are going to know a correctional officer are going to give them favors and other criminals in a prison. But want them come to America where them don't know nobody and the hard labor. So, I mean, this is so overwhelming. I'm going to have to watch this again tomorrow and get more information from it. But man, this is big up yourself, man, Sir Byron and Lady Anne Marie and Mystic.
Yeah, man. And big up gratitude. So
his contribution and Jamaica, because we're peeling back the layers. And you're not going to hear this on the GOP FM station, but we're going to beat them on social media with them thing. Watch what you're going to do. Earl Vaz is a criminal. Him can't travel. Him wife of RV. And then Google Yaga, the commissioner of police.
That's the shocking one. That's what's shocking to me.
Outside of Jamaica, the national security minister, and then the former commissioner of police who just leave last year couldn't as his visa revoked. And then while here said the prime minister for take off him shoes and going on the regular line them last year. So I wonder if him thing did revoke last season.
You know something, Pastor Rick, you just touched on a point. Last year it was reported, right? Yeah. It was reported, source reporting that the former police commissioner, Anthony Anderson, was supposed to replace the U.S. ambassador, Audrey Marks, in Washington, D.C. And this was supposed to take place before UNGA in mid-September, the UN General Assembly, because it would be a seamless turnover. The old ambassador is leaving, the new one coming, and him go UNGA, right, with the prime minister. And paperwork was done. Everything was done. My sources at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade tell me, yeah, he's coming. All the paperwork, everything done. And then all of a sudden you hear that he's now in charge of resilience.
He can't
Yeah,
travel.
He can't travel.
disaster. And now it's
Can't
kind
travel.
of coming now and said, maybe that's why him not come. Yeah,
Business must out now.
maybe that's why, because the US government would have to approve it. And maybe them say, no, we don't want him here. Because why wouldn't he take that position? Because my sources are telling me that the paperwork on the Jamaican side was completed, and that they were making preparations for him to come and assume the position in Washington, D.C. And she was supposed to leave, and him just come right before Onga. And like I said, normally that's for the diplomatic world, that's how them usually do it. If you're going to replace somebody, you replace them just before Onga, so that the new person can come in and meet all of the counterparts at the UN and everything like that, And it just never happened. And then now I'm in charge of natural disaster resilience, or whatever the term is down in Jamaica. Yes. I don't understand this, but Pastor Ricky, thanks for bringing that point there, because it just kind of like hit me. I said, wait a minute, he was supposed to come.
Yes.
He can't leave Jamaica. The whole country's a mess. Exactly. The national security can't leave. The high command of the JCF compromised political line. I can't even tell the truth of how many people died last year, so that the people, family can get, like honor and dignity, that their family member bodies was counted. The prime minister is corrupt. I got prison, whether I'm like it or not, because the feds are gonna come for him. And the only reason why I'm dead, I know, is like Trump. When Trump was in office, them leave him alone. And when him come out of office, them pick up 4 charges and 91 counts. You see what I said? So him feel like him untouchable. Him behave so like him is above the law. But one thing him don't know, you see, Uncle Sam, they will watch you for 10 years, 15 years. I see when them collect them intelligence on you, and them ready for moving on you, you come out in a bangles that all on your head, and them carry all your boxes and laptop and computer and hard drive. That's how the feds work. Sir Rattigan can confirm that. And I like Mocha will go run up building and then say them are gonna start investigating afterwards. And that's how the feds work. So Prime Minister feel like him above the law. Watch when them do it. That's why them a fight so hard for staying in power,
Pastor had such that, man.
I tell you something though, but Ratty, the situation is extremely serious.
Mm-hmm.
And what we are looking at now, based on this report, right, is the fact that the United States, right, so let's just use an umbrella term, investigators, right, have even a lot more, I believe, right? Yeah. A lot more information, right? Yeah. Because in terms of them, right, knowing that Darrell Valls traveled, right, into Mexico, right, they know the exact amount of money that he had collected. A lot more information out there about the Jamaica Labour Party administration. So they are a conundrum, right? Now,
one quick, Pastor Ricky says something. I think most of us probably just, like, overlook it, but we shouldn't. Him said that once you touch the U.S. banking system, you automatically fall within the jurisdiction of several government agencies, including the FBI.
Including the
FBI. Once you touch the U.S. banking system, because they protect it like they protect nothing else. Because the integrity of the banking system is paramount in importance, because they can't afford to have tainted money come through the banking system and them just make it run like that, because then people lose faith in that. So whatever, and the thing about it is that if you have ever used the U.S. banking system, and chances are if you use the banks in Jamaica, you probably use the U.S. banking system without knowing it. It probably touched the system without knowing it. And so what will happen is that these records are not records like paper records where you can burn them and then nobody don't know nothing. These are permanent records. These are digitized records. And you can get it from that end, or you can get it from this end, or you can get it from that end, from above. You can get it from above, over there, here, anywhere. That information is there. And so, like Pastor Ricky said, at the most opportune time for the feds, and when you least expect it, they will come for you. And but what they do is leave you alone, make you go and feel like you're powerful and things like that. But once you leave office, you fear game because you have no use to them any longer. So then they come after you, and when they come after you, the way they come after you is like they know you more than you know yourself, because they spend years and years and years, and we are all creatures of habit without even knowing it. So I mean, I can tell you situations where I investigate people. I could tell you when they were going to use the bathroom. I could tell you when they're going to eat breakfast. I could tell you when they're going to come out of their house. I could tell you when they come out, which way they're going to turn. You know the person inside out. And so when you go for that person, usually at the report after the arrest, it says arrested without incident. Because you know the person, there's no, you know them about gun, you know them about gun, you know where them carry the gun, you probably know how many bullets on the gun. So it's like it's not a problem. So all of the politicians in Jamaica who commit all of this stealing and all of that, the game changer, believe it or not, is a diaspora.
Exactly.
The game changer is a diaspora, because we're very active. And we not only active, but we're courageous. Because we not hide our face, Right. And we not, and in a lot of instances, like me, but talk about what me I do, because I tell them, because there's nothing them can do about it. The crime done commit already. It's like somebody commit a bank robbery, and then he want to bring back the money and pretend like the crime never happened. No, the crime occurred already. Exactly. So it no matter whether you come back with the money or you run or whatever, the crime already committed. So you'll get charged for bank robbery, even if you return the money. Don't make a difference. So all we can say to them is that just prepare yourselves for come and become a guest of the U.S. government. Just prepare yourself. Because you can't stay in power forever. Some point you have to leave. And when you leave, guess who will be there waiting for you?
All right.
That's right. Amen.
Amen. Dark in them corners, not tell Ratty. But Ratty, when I look on the activity, I'm going to show you something. When I look on the activity into 2019, right? I know very well that Nigel Clark would have been aware of some of that information, yeah. Now, Ratty, I'm going to show you something. Look, show me again now, Ratty. 2019, when they make them move there, and Darrell Vaz come and share up the money. Right? No, we are talking because that is what, as it relates to the report. As it relates to the report. Right? Because it tells you where Andrew let's put female. You understand what I said?
Yeah.
So what's this, Ratty? In 2019, when I'm scrapped with all of them cash there, we're going to show you something what happened in 2020. Right? Watch this. Watch. Look, show me, Rat. Look at this. Look at me. Ratty. 18 degrees north. Run this. Did Jamaica Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark use a tax-exempt charity for a political purpose? And can he? Watch this. Last month, Jamaica Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, right, won praise for the country's removal from the international grey list of the Global Watchdog Financial Action Task Force. For the past 4 years, he had been a ministerial point person on enhancing the country's counterterrorism financing and anti-money laundering regime, including getting Parliament to pass legislation to strengthen monitoring of the nation's non-profit sector. But an 18 degrees north probe has found that Dr. Hypocritical Nigel Clark own tax-exempt charity deserves scrutiny. Look, show me right. Is Growth and Opportunity Trust Limited, set up to serve its Northwest St. Andrew constituency by providing relief of poverty and to promote the advancement of good citizenship and community development, has raised more than $91 million, US $631,644 in donations from unexplained sources between its inception in 2018 and 2023, bracketing 2019 in that. It's also spent about $84 million, 581,000 US 460 over that same time period, with little indication as to how that money was spent. Of note is that the foundation two most lucrative ads occurred during election years, according to the foundation financial file at the company's office beginning in January 2023. Now, look on the diagram, Ratty. 2018. Nigel Clark Foundation, right? Drawing $27.8 million. Now, 2019. But look, 2020. $35.3 million. In 2018, the year Dr. Clark was first elected to Parliament in a special election, the foundation took in roughly $28 million. Right? We sank to just above $8 million in 2019. In 2020, the year of the general election, donation shot up again, surpassing $35 million. Right? They plunged again in 2021 to $1.6 million. So the two election year, 2018 and 2021. Take that away, let me ask something. So, Ratty, the information as it relates to the donors, right, into Nigel Clark Foundation. Investigation was done and according to what Nigel Clark said that he spent the money in the constituency. When the investigation carried out, right, persons in the constituency, right, denied that, right, and there's at the time they had spoken with councillors and certain persons who would have been in the know, right? So we know that what he said that he's going to use the charity company for, we have strong evidence that he did not use it for that, right? And so then the question asks, where did Nigel Clark got the money from? Now when the third was give some, we don't know. But think of it, Ratty. Where did Nigel Clark got that money from? Now, if you look back at all of the systemic corruption where Nigel Clark again, right, active as it relates to the Muslim group, and I'm saying subjectively, right, I have no evidence that the level of corruption taking place, it could easily that Nigel Clark giving intel, right, to parliamentarians, member of parliament, right, to buy up certain shares and certain things and blah, blah, blah. Allegedly. Let me say that because I don't have any evidence. Let me say that to make it clear. But when we look at all of the information that we process tonight and the level of corruption as it relates to the possibility of insider trading, right? Because I personally searched the webinar and there's no information as it relates to Nigel Clark resign from the Muslim group of companies. There is none. While it showed you that he resigned from Steprak. But then, right, after resigning from separate, right? Based to the fact that you don't find any information that he resigned from Moson group of company. So we say he's still in Moson. So then now we're privy to those information and he would also navigate the whole thing with separate. So Moson, right? Definitely take over separate.
Right.
And Nigel Clark simultaneously now would be in the portfolio of the Minister of National Security, Minister of Finance. So, Ratty, if that is the case, this is clear, this is really serious. If that is the case, that you have, if the Minister of Finance would have now privy to certain information, if he also in the Mustang group of company, and to the fact that he was in Sagiko, the fact what I'm saying is that Nigel Clark would have a wide knowledge of the performance of stocks on the stock market.
Yeah. I mean, it's plausible. I mean, like you said, allegedly, but it's plausible.
Yeah,
it's plausible. We don't know, but it could happen. You know, it could have happened. We're not sure. We don't know.
Yeah.
But we're trying to connect dots, and so we have some dots where we can't really connect to, but we see things leading in that direction. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I tell you what though, we might not know for sure, but there are people out there who know for sure.
Yes.
There are people out there who know for sure. And them know.
Exactly.
Them know. That's a matter of time, you know. You see, this is Dr. Clark is here, you know, in the DC area, the DMV area. And so in the fullness of time, we will make the approach. You know, we will reach out to him and say, listen, you know, we can do lunch and we can talk and we'll go from there. But at the same time, while we're doing that, we're planning on doing some things with him, like filing some documents, like the one, like the thing where, like the Zara Burton thing.
Yes.
We plan to raise that with the IMF. We plan to raise that among other things with the IMF. So what we're trying to do right now is just that, you know, we're trying to get a group of volunteers. We have a small group right now. We're trying to get some more people involved because it's a lot of work to do the Magnitsky. It's a lot of work, but we are going to get it done. I mean, we just file it, and then once you file it, you know, it's up to the government and the organizations, whatever they want. But our part is over. You know, we promised it and we delivered it. That's it. So, but I know a lot of them not sleeping well tonight now because sense of why them, you know, they must say, bro, I want them to know what me do. I want them to know the things what me do, and they must say, all I want them mistake. You know, I don't like him. You know?
Jamaica is private, so it's the feds know everything.
yeah, of course, you know, because them part of being there is to collect, you know what I mean, and it's funny because they might collect sometimes from people who live there, locals. They might collect from them too, because they have sources, you know. So, but we know some of them have look on you and Pastor Ricky, and them say you see them too there. And the mystic with him wife, where she not talk, but she bring up all of the sitting them.
He glad me there on TikTok and them thing. I'm glad me have connection with other bloggers. So,
what is that the Prime Minister made a speech, you know, saying that we know we can track people. Wow. He said that. So we can track people. We have the technology. And we know him have the technology.
Yes.
Me know him have the technology. Me personally know him have the technology. Yeah. The technology is there in Jamaica. You know that. And him say it. Him say we can track people. And then right after that, one of the supporters come out and say, yeah, we know who they are. And him say, and in fact, some of them are overseas and we know where they live. And we are watching them water them plants and all kinds of things. So when you know, me write a letter I'm send it all over the world and say if anything should happen to me or any one of the bloggers, them look to Prime Minister Andrew Holness as #1 suspect. Just look to him first.
Thank you. That is it.
And him waste man will make church them know where the bloggers them live and him see them a water them flowers. Yeah, him too.
Yeah, no, just send off the videotape to, you know. Send off the videotape them so them know how, you know.
Exactly. You know, it's
on the vice, no, and the vice thing, them know how, them know them.
Yeah. So we can.
But can I say one thing, please?
Go ahead.
In addition to what Sir Rattigan just said, let me just let the criminal prime minister know this with no apology. So the side where we upon attack, we have a constitutional right of freedom of speech. And under that constitutional rights, the government of this soil does not target anyone who speaks out against the government in any way, shape, or form. Public servants are subjected to heavy scrutiny and criticism, especially when there's bad governance and corruption. So if you, Prime Minister, thinks that you can intimidate you, you're making a sad mistake. You say you have a tracking device, you need to track how many days you're going to spend in prison when this government is over. Thank you so much.
You know, you just say that because people, I saw in the thing where somebody put up and say, Mystic, you know, you better get a good lawyer for them things that we are saying. Let me just tell people, say, the truth is a complete defense to any accusation of defamation. Truth is a complete defense. And also remember, when you file that lawsuit, you know, there's something called discovery. Where you can get stuff, they can get stuff. And believe me, if them guilty, they will never file a lawsuit if them guilty. Because them know we're likely to come out and in terms of exposure. No? Them know we're likely to come out. And them no one that come out. So when them do say, you know what? We could just pretend like it's a 9-day wonder thing and just not say anything and just make it go away. So there we go.
Well, just like, remember, you know, the Prime Minister sued Zara Burton, you know. People need to remember that. He sued Zara Burton and what happened? He lost the case. Right? And Zara Burton still have the clip up on YouTube, right? Showing the clip. You understand? The Prime Minister lost the case. If nobody don't understand that, yes, the Prime Minister lost the case, and that's why the Zara Burton clip with 18 degrees north still showing the Prime Minister situation. If the Prime Minister had won, Zara Burton would have to take down that clip. That's why you're right.
Indeed.
Okay. All right. So all right, let us just go back to the document and see if we can finish up, right? Any more in there, and then okay. So here it is, right? Transaction flowed through the US banking system, and Mr. Vaz was fingered. And when consolidated with the US real estate and huge construction works at his house in Portland, Vaz was sanctioned. These funds were also used to acquire additional properties in Portland near Monkey Island, right? An operation manager. Oh, okay, we read that already. So we get so 2020, Andrew Holness becomes Prime Minister. In 2021, September 21, Prime Minister liquidated the last remaining financial instrument managed by SSL and gave instruction for his account to be closed. In 2022, the Integrity Commission findings, a total of 10 contracts were awarded by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information to Western Construction Limited during the period February 14 to 2007 and November 10 to 2009. 1.5.3 of the 10 contracts, only 5 were reported to the OCG by way of quarterly contract awarded, right? Reports for the period. The 10 contracts awarded, right, were between the contract value of 1,413,439,000, right, and 3,360,000 $650 and add a cumulative value of 21,882,491. This is clear nepotism, cronyism, and it's clear, very clear. 2022 and 2023, right? February 23, the Integrity Commission has referred a report implicating the Prime Minister Andrew Holness in an alleged conflict of interest to the Director of Corruption Prosecution after it concluded that he may have influenced the awarding of millions of dollars in government contracts, right, to the company of a business associate, published on Jamaica Cleaner. This is so bad. It really honestly, trust me, I'm not lie, it just make the entire Jamaica just feel burdened down, right? And outside, externally, people are just looking at us. Boy, the Prime Minister really make it look bad, I'm not lie. Right? The corruption prosecutor to probe Holness conflict of interest allegation, right? April 2023, possible laundering New York visit. What this year? Possible laundering New York visits or in Dunkley. Okay. Okay, so that is really, that is really. Okay.
I think it's just their sources.
All right, yeah, but I'm not going to get into any more of this. So just let us close. Let us close that. Right? Take that away. Close the entire document. All right. So basically, right, we come to the end of the document, and that is it as it relates to what we have discovered, right? The information relating to Darrell Vaz, right, and Nigel Clark, the possibility of insider trading, right? It's a web of corruption. It's really messy, and it's clear in terms of what pointed out into the report. And I have noticed that the investigators have done a wonderful job in terms of some of the very same thing that Zara Burton picked up, right? The investigators picked up as well.
Yeah,
so
Byron, sorry
yes.
to interrupt you. Our brethren, strong supporter of the program, wrote me and said that you must remember that Minister Vaz told us that any information about politicians is always public knowledge. And he made it when they leaked opposition leader Mark Goling's thing. And they asked him, how did he get that? Because he shouldn't have any access to it. Because I think it had to do with PICA. And it's supposed to be private. And then they said, how you get this passport information? And I said, no, anything about politicians, nothing private anymore. So I guess what good for the goose, good for the gander, right?
Exactly, Ratty. I think one of the most damning thing to me that came out in this report is really the situation with Darrell Vaz, right, and Prime Minister Andrew Holness, right, in cahoots in terms of selling the Jamaica property by, devaluing the property, right, and then, send off Darrell Vaz, right, to Mexico to collect kickback money, right? No, I mean, this is disgraceful. So you can see as it relates to the Prime Minister mindset and as it relates to what had happened to Usain Bolt. Just look, the mindset. So how this man care for Jamaican people? How this man care for Jamaican people if the Prime Minister is going to involve in them a DBDB business here? No other Prime Minister has ever done this before. It's really sad because this is really petty. Really a petty thing. I mean, look, clearly you see that the Prime Minister is not looking out for the Jamaican interests. He's just finding a way to enrich himself, his family, and his friend, you understand, and give peer pretty talk and PR talk. And here you have the spin machine. Big Mama, somebody said in that chat, would like if Big Mama is not going to speak on some of them issues, yeah. I am 100% sure if it was a situation where Mark Golding and one of the politicians them agree, you understand, say, undervalue one of Jamaican property, and then Mark Golding send one of the member of parliament, send one of the PNP member of parliament, you understand, to collect the kickback. You won't stop. Right? And if internal issues in the People's National Party and seeing the panic there. Seeing the panic there. Just look on how slight that is. Right? And he's there now to say want to say that, you understand, Mark Golding did done this and done that. I mean, it's just ridiculous in terms of what we are seeing here. So, you know, we want to say big thanks for everybody to pass through, right, as it relates to this report. And we're just going to go around the panel for persons to just give their last argument, and then we close up. I mean, wonderful show tonight, right? And I mean, the information is what it is, right? And so then let us begin with, of course, the youngest person on the platform, man. Come on. All right.
I take my time and grow up, you know.
All right, good.
Well, I tell you, as Pastor Ricky said, we have to take time and go back over this and ensure that we get all of the details. A lot of information. We're thankful for the report. And even, as you said, bits of what Zara Burton spoke about in length. I remember that interview on the Wilfred Rattigan show where she spoke about the money, the charity money. And she spoke about it to see it come back in this. We saw that Darrell Vaz went to Mexico. $470 million. They were trying to fix up the money. And we realized him no have no visa, him wife no have no visa. And we see with the prime
Google Gaga. Like him visa gone.
So true, if him lose people too, because I
remember visa gone.
I remember when he was when his tenure with as the head of police commissioner, we were expecting him to go. So when Mr. Rattigan and also Pastor brought it up, we said, yeah, but everybody is him packing bag and him ready for go. And he would have heard not again. But boy, not a visa.
Oh, that's messy.
So tonight we get a belly full of more. I trust me, even though we're here laughing about the situation, it is a serious situation.
Yeah.
And you know, when you look how they've been working the Jamaican people's money and how they put some this or put some this, it's a crying shame.
Crying shame, my brother.
Let me tell you, no longer than rope as time longer than rope as the people.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. So them can't outlive time. So again, thank you for including me a part of the panel. Very good information. Thank you everybody for your contribution. Thank you for everybody who in the comment section and have their thoughts as well. We're a part of Jamaica Fixing Jamaica, and we look to the diaspora because you have the real tools to fix, and we must, I know Pastor Ricky just the same, we're on the other social media platform educating our Jamaican people so that they can be empowered to take a stand when the time comes. Your finger is your power. You have to point at these people when them come and say, we are not afraid because we are educated. Thank you.
All right. Well said, Jamaics. Pastor Ricky, right? Kick it, please.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to get off mute. Well, I'm so excited. I am so happy to even be in the presence of both of my professors. You know, I learned so much from Sir Rattigan and you, Sir Jeffrey and Lady Anne Marie, and Father Lonesome to the man in the wilderness.
All right.
It's a pleasure just as students to be able to, absorb and then regurgitate what we learn from each and every one of you. But I just want to say to the people of Jamaica, the government has brought the country into disrepute. I respect the office of the Prime Minister, but I do not respect the current holder of the office of the Prime Minister. And with no apology, the current holder of the office of the Prime Minister is a criminal. And I say that based upon the IC report. If you read the IC report, you can get an investigator to help you understand. You can get a banker, an accountant, a financial analyst. You will understand that the Prime Minister was involved in money laundering, racketeering, tax evasion, conspiracy to commit fraud, and abuse of power. It's all in the Integrity Commission report. He's disqualified for being the Prime Minister. He's not even eligible to run for Prime Minister. Well, Jamaica doesn't vote for Prime Minister. Let me rephrase that. He's not eligible to be elected again as the Prime Minister. He cannot get his statutory declarations for 3 consecutive years certified because of the criminalities, the high crimes and misdemeanors, as they call it in America, that is outlined in the IC report. And come March, 2 months from now, they will all require to submit 2024 statutory declaration, and that will never get certified. The criminal Prime Minister is still on the investigations. People say, well, the IC sent the report to the Parliament to be tabled. Yeah, but they have a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, that they have sent it over to FID. And thanks to my professor, Sir Rattigan, helped me to understand that FID is a part of a conglomerate of international investigators, which include the United States of America. So he's still on the investigation by the Jamaica Financial Investigation Division. And he's on the investigation now also from TAJ, Tax Administration of Jamaica. When those 2 agencies complete their review, they will send back their findings to the IC based upon what the IC report says. Then the IC will make a determination if they should certify a statutory declarations. So we have a criminal that's in Jamaica House, a criminal that's the head of the country in Jamaica. And when we look at what we learned tonight, because tonight was also a great learning experience for me, to see the collaboration and the collusion between him and Boz and other members of the Jamaica Labour Party, Nigel Clark and Webby, who's a part of the PSOJ, and they're connected to the Jamaica Labour Party and the PSOJ, and we see the potential of insider trading that is happening, where you have illegal practices of trading on the stock market, where you have information that it's not privy to the regular John Doe in the public, and you take advantage of that and enriching yourself. So, we have a big problem in Jamaica as it relates to criminality in government and corruption and conspiracies in government. And we are, Comrade Leader Mark Golden, big up yourself, General. You are the modern day Moses, in my opinion, sent from the Father above to help restore credibility, dignity, and integrity back to Jamaica. Jamaica is loved around the world, our culture, our food, even Sensimania. People go to Jamaica just to get some weed and come back up on plane and get arrested. That's just how much people love Jamaica. People love the white rum, them love the beaches. This criminal take her from the people them and get to the resort. So Jamaica is well loved around the world. Jamaica is a gem in the Caribbean. And God has raised you up for such a time as this to restore Jamaica. And I have faith and confidence in you. All of this sideshow distraction, it's because they are afraid of you, and they know when you come in a different ball game, everything changed. What if a reform are going to take place, including at the banking system? Because there's no way Barreto should give the criminal prime minister a $50 million loan with no collateral or proposed collaterals and so forth. There's no way someone can go, his friend can go to the ATM machine on 20 different occasions to deposit $4 million. We need strong banking regulations. And former leader Mark Golan was a banker before he came into politics. He was a corporate lawyer before he came into politics. He was a real estate guru before he came into politics. He was a successful businessman before he came into politics. And once he came into politics, he was a renowned just minister of justice who honored the rule of law and the Constitution. And we see that the ISAT that he helped pended and that they passed in 2017. So we know he's a no-nonsense person, because when he has to make a decisive decision, like how he handled the situation with Dennis Meadow, he will act. He's reserved, he's calculated, he's measures, he's cool, calm, and collective. He's not someone who's irrational and impulsive, and he's not someone who's emotional. So when you hear all these lies that they're telling, is because they're afraid of him, and they know they're going under, and the only place left for them to go is straight to prison. So them I talk about third term loading. The devil is a liar. Prison term is loading. And I'm so glad that I'm going to live to post the criminal prime minister mugshots on all my social media platforms. Amen. Are you back home? Amen.
All right. Yes, brother Ratty.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the panel. I love that panel. I love that panel. And people in the chat, them enjoy it too. Them say, boy, that panel is nice, you know.
Yes.
Well, let me just say, picking up on what Pastor Rick is about criminals. There's one criminal, there's a convicted criminal right now, Leslie Campbell, who must go to prison. He has been convicted. People know, we can say this without fear of any lawsuit, because he was found guilty of violating the Integrity Commission Act. And he's looking at 6 months in prison or a $500,000 fine. We said, don't take the fine. Just send him straight to prison. Have a uniform ready for him as soon as him come for him sentencing. You just put him in it and just send him. And then there's another person, Miss MP Marissa Dalrymple Philibert. She's before the court. If found guilty, she's looking at $2 million fine, up to $2 million, and up to 2 years in prison. And we say if she's found guilty, straight prison, because we have to do something about the corruption. We have to clean up our country. It was never, I mean, corruption was always there from time immemorial, but not to this level. No. The level, broad deal, like them take money now like it go to style. People used to hide and just scrape off the cream. No, them people go down and them dig down at the bottom and take away everything. Nothing for the poor people. And while we're talking on that, we just want people know, not call no name, but Mystic and I, we are talking about a certain person. Well, I want to know this person and the information we have, if it's true, true. This, you talk about Bangarang?
Bangarang
Pantaparangarang. We're right now, we're doing some verification. We have the basic information, and we're doing some verification. And I can tell you that it's a senior politician. So all I want to know is senior. All I want to know, and it's a senior politician in the government. So all of the senior politicians in the government, nobody's sleeping out till we come out with a name.
Love it, Ratty.
And when we come out with a name, you know we'll come out with the proof.
Exactly.
What's the proof? When I come out with no name, without come out with the proof. Folks, tune in tomorrow night, Wednesday night, to Come Reason with Rattigan. First program for the year. We're gonna have Dr. Ben and two people that he's trained, because he's getting a lot of business and it's just overwhelming for him. So he trained 2 people. I think one is in New York, one is in Florida. And also we're going to discuss anything you want to discuss. That's tomorrow night. Then on Saturday, Reason with Rattigan. Here are some of the things that we're going to be talking about. You know, the reform, the Constitutional Reform Committee, they submitted a report, and the report has now found its way in the Parliament as a bill. And we are going to show you why you cannot support this bill. Cannot support this bill because there's so many things wrong with it. This Saturday, we're going to have Dr. Rosalia Hamilton. She's going to come on, and her take on the whole thing is going to make your head spin. She's absolutely correct. But the way that we've been viewing it, she's going to show you that it's half-baked. The fully baked product, she's going to explain it to you. Because when she tell you how you should be looking at this, the light bulb going to go off and you're going to go, man, how come we never say this? And then you're going to realize that what they've given us is nonsense. We're going to tear it apart. She's going to look at the 30,000 foot level. She's going to be looking at that. I'm going to be on the ground level, and we're going to tear up that document. And by doing so, we're going to be tearing up some of those people. Mystic mentioned the Nolan principles tonight. We may touch on that as to why the government hasn't signed. None of them. We also have a story to do with regarding the pipe bombs. Nobody talk about the pipe bombs. But we hear about bomb threats all over the place, including at the Prime Minister's residence. We're going to touch on that because no one of them say it's a security threat. Them change the tone. It's no longer, it was a bomb threat. No, it's a security threat. And they said that they have repelled it. And we are going to show where them repel. What else we have? Oh, we are going to show that you can, this government, and when I say government, I'm talking about the JLP because, you know, the opposition are part of government. So when I say government, we are talking colloquially because technically it's opposition and winning party form the government. But we're going to show why the diaspora now, we know Jamaican people can't trust them because they make all of these promises, you know, the conference speeches, the interviews, the manifestos, everything. They make all kind of speeches and them not fulfill them. But we are going to show them now how them trick the diaspora. And we are going to go back and show when the Prime Minister was in the opposition, one of the positions he took, said he might do some things for the diaspora. And we are going to show now what them do to the diaspora. A complete reversal of the things that them say them all do. So stay tuned for that. And what else we have here? We have there's a young lady who's the minister of Dana Morris Dixon, Minister Dana Morris Dixon. We're going to show why we really miss Minister what my man name? Marlon. We really miss him. We are going to show why I never thought the day would come when I said, boy, I miss him. But I really do. I miss him. Because this is a disaster. She's a complete disaster.
What I often say, you know, you can never trust the word
of a politician. Okay, sure. What we're going to do, she come out, you know, remember last week we did the one which she did we did one before on the unemployment rate, we did one on the economy. This woman is turning out to be a magnificent idiot. And I say that with respect because she's educated, but then you have some, you know, you have educated fools too. Exactly. Come out and she said things that Minister Robert Morgan would never say. One of the things I admire about him doing, if somebody give him a report, him go read it, him verify it, and then if him and he might look and say, whoa, me can't talk about this. And when him come to the podium and you ask him say, well, you know, I have to go back and check and you know, Sam no one give the answer. Him know the answer. Yes. And then when to the next, then him just mention nothing more about it, right? And I blame somebody. Him say I have to go back and talk to the permanent secretary or the minister. I haven't spoken to them yet. But him come out and just talk just freely like that. This lady come out and just talk freely and like she didn't not think. She didn't not think. So what we are going to do now, we did the one on the economy, we did the one on the unemployment rate. This week, now we're going to the one now on missing, unaccounted, stolen, misappropriated funds. When she said money is not missing,
Yes.
she come out and say that. Well, what we are going to do, we are going to take an expenditure out of the Auditor General's report as compiled by JAMP, and we are going to ask her, well, if it's not missing, wait there.
Wait there.
Wait there. We are going to show it. We are going to show it. So, and then also, you know, the DPP, Paula Llewellyn, we want to do a story upon she, because there's more to this lady than meets the eye. More to this lady. There is a report, and you know, mistakes is in the report. There's a report, and believe me, it's not a kind report about this lady. It's not a kind. So DPP, if you're listening, or anybody who know her, if you're not here, just tell her, say, we have some things where we want to talk about her, and it's not pretty. And, you know, we have verified some information, because once we go to BAM and release it, it's uncontroverted.
Yeah.
It said it never happened, you know. So that is where we are going to deal with. And I think, let me see what else we have about that. Yeah, we'll touch the manifesto, the two manifestos. You know what's interesting? The FBI came out and said, we have this tool to deal with corruption. We have an arsenal of tools, and we're offering it to all of you Caribbeanites, all of the countries in the Caribbean. And I'm waiting to hear Jamaica make an announcement saying, yes, we have invited them in. And because remember, you know, it was Minister Clark who said, the FBI is coming, FBI is coming. And we don't see them. So now the FBI is saying, we're here. So now wait for Stephen Moss if there's be an announcement saying, we have invited the FBI to come in and help us fight corruption. I'm waiting for that. I don't think it's going to happen, folks.
No, it's not.
But we're waiting. And then we have some more stories. May I look on my screen up there? So Kevin and I, we have to go figure out how we are going to do this, because there's no way we can do all of the stories what we see up here. So, and like I've said, and I will continue to say it, Jamaica is content rich. Yes, in an abundance of riches. Negative. Right? And our job is just to make sure that we don't do 9-day wonders. We don't do something and then we'll forget about it and move, because that's what they want. That's what they want. And they're not gonna get that round here, because between Pastor Ricky Jamaica, the Mystic Sensation, Fantastic Duo, I mean, and others, we are going on and eat them. And guess what? There's an election that must be called constitutionally by September. I was told that they can go actually beyond it, I think by 2 or 3 months. The problem though is our Prime Minister has a date with justice and the judge put it off till October.
Yes.
Here is something nobody's talking about. And I said this, I said this a long time before. I said, well, wait a minute now. Let me see if I understand this. The Prime Minister submitted a statutory declaration in his official capacity, because they don't do it on private unless you're a public servant, right? So he did that. Then he turned around and he sued in his personal capacity, and he sued the government, because he sued the Integrity Commission, which is part of the government. It's a legislative created organ of the government. And I said to myself, how come if he's suing them, then he's actually suing the crown, and the Constitution will change it? And if he's suing the crown under the Representation Act, one of them, may I just mix up the acts? Let me know. Hold on there. Let me just get it right, because somebody will come and say, no, you call it.
Are you looking for that? Remember, the Prime Minister sits on the King Privy Council too. So how that?
Oh, yeah, we're right. We're right to them. The King know about the way I'm going with Jamaica, now, because we're right to the King and tell the King what going on. We give the King the full report, and we give our assessment and everything. So it's not only the King, but all our colleagues in the Privy Council, them look on him like the pariah. I guarantee you, when them go amongst them, them are gonna say, "Oh, see me, I'll come," and them just walk away and leave him, because they don't want nothing to do with it, right?
But he must sue the crown, and he must part of the council.
Exactly.
So that makes sense.
So them have an act, right? And the act says that if you're suing the crown, then the attorney general must be a party to the action. Now, who is the attorney general? Dr. Dennis McCoy. Who is Dr. Dennis McCoy? He was with the contractor general. Then the prime minister moved him and made him one of the first commissioners on the Integrity Commission. And the day he resigned from the Integrity Commission, the next day he was in the Attorney General's office. So he's the Prime Minister Brethren. Now, guess what this judge do? And nobody, you know, see the newspaper them in the media in Jamaica talk about it. Remember they had a hearing on the 7th of December, right? Because remember they had one before, and the judge said, "Come back and see me." When the judge fling out 25 out of the 28 things.
Yes, that's correct.
Come back and see me on the 7th of December. Well, on the 7th of December, guess what the judge said? The judge said, "Here what you do know, Mr. Prime Minister, you serve the Attorney General and make him a party to this action." So now the Prime Minister have a suing brethren.
Wow.
Brethren oppose him now in a court. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. You can't. And then the judge, but if me could have meet a judge, I'm going to tell you, man, this judge are brilliant. You know the judge, though? The judge gave him the 3 charges when bound for loose pan.
Yeah.
Boom, yeah.
For loose pan them 3 years. She just said, take, and guess what the Integrity Commission said? Them said, give him, judge, give him. And when you say in a court, when people tell us, say, give him, you shouldn't take it. You shouldn't take it. Not take it, something or something. So, Mystic, we just want to thank you again for having me on this wonderful panel here, and we look forward to do this every week, brethren.
All right.
Until there's a change, you know.
Love it.
Yeah.
And even beyond that. So thanks again.
All right. And blessings. So then let us close by just telling all the electorate, right, to, you know, understand, right, as it relates to being aware of what is happening as it relates to this government, right? No doubt, no to be about it, right? This is a kleptocratic government, and we are saying to the electorate, go out, vote, right? Make sure that you process, right, accordingly, and make sure that you are moving forward in voting, putting the X beside the head. I'm not going around, you know, and you know, I'm telling people, right, X beside the head. All right, and that is my take for tonight. Once again, I want to say big thanks, right, to the panel. Big thanks, Brother Rattigan. Big thanks, Pastor Ricky. Big thanks, the mic, right? Trust me, really feeling there's a brotherhood here, right? And we really appreciate that. And remember, people.
And a lady, you have to include your wife, ladyhood too, you know.
Well, I mean, come on. Well, you said strong man, you know. There's a virtuous woman. And my wife is more than that.
Right.
So, you will keep married. You will keep married.
Exactly. So, you know, big up, you know. And
just remember that behind every successful man.
Amen.
Yeah.
Behind every successful man.
I stand beside.
All right. Just not corrected. All right, hold on. Myron, just remember.
My correction.
Myron, just remember, in front of every successful man.
All right. So,
all right.
And remember, right? Always, you know, support all of the channels that, you know, coming out with their strength. You understand? Big up to Lonesome. You understand? Other persons who are putting out, right, the information. Big up. You understand? So we love you all, right? And we love the Jamaican people. And let me say this: me and Rattigan, Pastor Ricky, and Jamaics, you understand, Lonesome, and many more, we are so committed to fight for Jamaica because we love our Jamaican brother. You understand? 110%. And we not stop for fight for them, right? Yes, we are here to defend the vulnerable, and we are not going to stop, right? No matter what, we are not going to stop. So blessing, love you all.
Yeah, and remember, tomorrow evening in Central Kingston, Comrade Leader Mark Golan will be presenting the new candidate, former Superintendent of Police, Steve McGregor. So
McGregor.
I'll be powerful.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And Rattigan, Sir Rattigan tomorrow eve. What time? 8:30?
8:30.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Blessings. Have a blessed night, everybody.
For the tablet drive, really appreciate. Really
All right.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Night.
Good night, everybody.
Blessings. All right.
Bye-bye.
Lovely program. We really appreciate it.
Good night, everyone.